Hey everyone, today is Wednesday, the 11th of October 2019. This is The Gap, episode 488. I'm Wick Lawrie. Joab Gilroy is here, and he's got his Borderlands shirt on today.
I do have my Borderlands shirt. Wob wob. This was 2, right? Yeah. Back when dubstep was still a big thing.
It still is, isn't it?
You know, is it? I don't know. I don't really keep up with the fucking hipping and the hopping that the kids are all into.
Yeah. I liked personally the stained shirt you were wearing before we started.
Yeah. That's my favorite. Just wearing, like, I got to chuck a shirt on so I don't walk, because I got these giant windows and like floor to ceiling like glass doors on my out to my balcony. Fucking how fancy does that sound? It's not as fancy as I've just made it sound. But basically what it results in is, if I want any light in my house that isn't, artificial, I open up the blinds and every motherfucker from every other apartment around me can see directly into my entire place.
Right.
So I gotta chuck a shirt on to sort of slow down the uncontrollable horniness that a shirtless, me sort of causes in a lot of people. So I chuck on my stainiest shirt to sort of, make them look elsewhere. And yeah, so I was wearing my stainiest shirt, and there you go. I bought like I think 15 of those shirts. I got 15 of them.
Like Batman, basically.
Yeah. All the same. They were $1 a piece. I bought them in the States. They were an American dollar a piece. So, $1.50 a piece. But yeah, they were like, I was stoked. I'm like, fuck yeah, these are perfect. And then like that stain was from cold water. They're like fucking reverse hypercolor shirts.
Yeah.
You remember those hypercolor?
Yeah.
Yeah. Except the hypercolor would fucking go away eventually. No. There's a reason these shirts were $1 a piece, and it's because you get cold water on them.
And they turn into gremlins.
Yeah, exactly. Then you feed them after midnight, and everything goes to hell. But yeah, anyway, so that was some shit. So now they're my house shirts. I got house shirts, and I got outside shirts. And this is an outside shirt, even though I don't usually wear shirts with stuff on anymore. But yeah, anyway.
Speaking about some shit.
Yeah.
China.
Speaking about some shit. Yeah, this kind of China situation is fucking weird, eh? Speaking about some basketball, eh? Because you got a Lakers shirt on.
I do.
Obviously, some basketball games, some preseason basketball games have been kicking off. Yeah. Look, where's your Dwight Howard?
It's in there. It's somewhere there.
Good.
I don't think the little tag has been taken off yet, but it's definitely in there. Well, the problem is he's not number 12 anymore as well. You fucked me.
Nah, he's really fucked you. It was pretty inconsiderate of him.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. All this stuff kicked off earlier this week with Daryl Morey of the Houston Rockets, right? If you follow basketball, this China-related outrage will not be as new to you as it might be. I mean, it's been sort of brewing for an entire week. I don't know if you watched the latest South Park.
Yeah.
Although by the time, I think the latest South Park is actually airing as we're speaking, but that's episode 300. But
so they did this in retaliation to the basketball stuff, right?
No.
Oh, okay. It's just a really big coincidence.
It was just like explicitly well timed. Like maybe it was, I don't know.
Because we know that South Park does it in like a week.
Yeah,
right?
like they do it in a week, but like the timing of it would have to have been spectacular. I think it was just something that they wanted to sort of get off their chests. Because, like, have you watched it? No. It doesn't really lead into, it's just a weird... Anyway, so that was called Banned in China, but banned, B-A-N-D. And then it was sort of like largely about corporations kowtowing to Chinese interests, but in a much like larger sense. And then Maury tweeted "Free Hong Kong," which is as inoffensive a statement as you can fucking get. And the NBA's knee-jerk reaction was explicitly bad, explicitly poor.
Especially for a progressive. Well,
Yeah.
I would consider the NBA to probably be the most progressive, like,
I would have
sport,
prior
but,
to
like mainstream sport.
yeah
At least I don't know. I would
prior to this week. I would have as well.
It's changed up. The last couple of hours has definitely changed. They've put out like a proper statement saying that they now
We stand behind.
our players,
yeah,
which has caused a huge shitstorm.
yes.
But they were very slow to jump to that.
To get to
that point,
the right place.
Yeah.
Right? Like their initial knee-jerk reaction was we're disappointed, like a disappointed dad. Oh, we're just disappointed. And yeah, I don't have the full story. I'm still not sure where it actually landed, but the translated version of their statement was different.
Yeah.
To the Chinese audience. Like it was translated into Chinese. I've heard that the company handling the translation deliberately, like they took it upon themselves to translate it differently. I've heard like all sorts of things about how that went down.
Yeah.
So I don't have a really good idea of how it actually played out, but largely it was bad, like just generally bad. Left a real sour fucking taste in my mouth. I tell you what, like you can't fucking censure a man for saying "free Hong Kong." That is literally calling for freedom. Is not offensive to anyone. Fucking the owner of the Nets came out with his own statement that was just fucking garbage, and it was basically. What did he say? It doesn't take into account the complexities of the situation, the complexities of China's history, and their overall relationship with international influences that attempt to take away territory from them and stuff like that, which is horse shit. Because saying "free Hong Kong" is three fucking words. It's not. It doesn't comment on any fucking Chinese anything. Like it is literally a statement saying "free Hong Kong." Right. That's it. That's the end of it. So fuck that. In particular, I believe James Harden didn't really play it very slick. He bent the knee as fast as humanly possible, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, we fast forward to yesterday afternoon, and or more like yesterday morning. But Blizzard deleted a video, an entire VOD that included a player interview with a player called Blitz Chung, who said. Oh man, I can't fucking remember the whole statement. I remember three words pretty easy, but I don't remember the rest.
Yeah. So this was during an interview for a Grandmasters tournament, was it? Where he did he either win or did he place something like that?
So he just like bowed out basically. He just played
He's placed.
Placed. I think it was like. In the bottom four. So he said, reclaim Hong Kong. It is the era of revolution. And the casters in question sort of teed him up to say it, and then they hid under their desks so that they could be to have, I guess, plausible deniability. And Blizzard reacted by removing the video, and then they went a step further and they suspended him for a year, removed his winnings for the season, only season 2, but still season 2.
Yeah.
So that's $3,000.
Yeah.
And then they fired the 2 casters in question.
Yeah.
And I think this one is actually pretty complicated. This one isn't like the basketball. It's not like that fucking Aussie swimmer who keeps getting into shit because he won't shut up, like fighting with the Chinese swimmer. Have you seen that stuff?
Yeah. The guy that was going on about drug cheating and whatnot. Like he was a convicted drug cheat or something, or he was
the Chinese player, Chinese swimmer was caught and then allowed back in after serving his suspension.
Yeah,
and the Aussie player,
wouldn't stand next to him
on the podium, etc., etc. That's pretty clear cut, right? That situation pretty clear cut, pretty simple. It's his personal opinion. That's not a statement on China. It's not as like he gets a bit broad with it, but it's not a statement on China or anything like that. He's allowed to not fucking respect drug cheats because he's a Olympic athlete, right? Mm-hmm. Why not? Lawrie said 3 fucking words. Free Hong Kong.
Was it a word or was it just a picture?
Yeah, maybe. But it was like nothing, right? And then you've got this is on a Blizzard broadcast during a tournament setting, and what it reminds me of is Israel Folau, right? That's what it reminds me of, because the mistake Israel Folau made, apart from being a bigot and a fuckwit, beyond being a bigot and a fuckwit and ruining my hopes of an Australian World Cup, Rugby World Cup victory because he can't shut the fuck up. Apart from those things, which are obviously extremely inconsiderate to me personally, the mistake he made was a breach of contract, which is largely the same thing that has happened here between Blitzchung and Blizzard, because the statements they make on stream, on official Blizzard streams, are under the purview of Blizzard. So the tricky situation that he puts himself in and puts Blizzard in is publishing his statements. And the other thing he did was call for revolution, which is incitement, which I'm not a fucking lawyer or whatever the fuck, but like from a language perspective, it is inflammatory, right? It's different to what the other 2 I mentioned did, right? It goes further. The flip side is that Blitzchung is from Hong Kong, and this has been going on for months, and there should be a level of compassion, right, from Blizzard, respecting the fact that his country is in a state of absolute disruption at the moment. And I think that Blizzard's reaction is like revolting from that perspective. He's in a tricky spot, and he puts Blizzard in a tricky spot by saying what he said, sure, right? But Blizzard made a massive fucking error in failing to consider the human element in this situation, right? Going on a stream with a gas mask on and calling for a revolution, or calling it a revolution, is obviously inflammatory. And I wouldn't blame Blizzard if they were to suspend him for that, right?
Sure.
I wouldn't blame them, right? I think I would understand that concept, and that is how you treat an athlete who says something far and above regular, I guess, the regular level of inflammatory stuff, right?
Right.
Like if you've got coaches who shit talk refs and they get fines, or there are suspensions handed out for specific
Repeat
statements
offenders
that
or things like that. Yeah.
like things that deliberately damage the brand of the association. Stuff like that happens in sports all the fucking time, right? And I do think that a suspension would be fine in that situation. They would still allow him to bring to light his issue. I think he would wear the fucking cost gladly, but they shouldn't take away his fucking money because he won it, right? First of all, he already won it. The way tournaments work, he's not salaried. He won a fucking tournament straight off the bat, right? So they shouldn't take away his money. And they shouldn't have taken down the video, I don't think. Being that it was as inflammatory as it is, like I understand why they might. Again, we're talking about this is a knee-jerk reaction. This is like the NBA's knee-jerk reaction. Fucking woeful, right? But the Streisand effect is fucking well documented, and Blizzard should know a lot better than to take down a video and assume it wasn't going to immediately blow up in their faces. And that is exactly what's happened here. The casters, I'm not surprised they were fired. They absolutely teed the dude up to say it, right? Like they teed him up to say something that compromised their relationship with Blizzard, right? Like from a business perspective, and I hate saying from a business perspective just because it seems like such a fucking cop-out, but at the end of the day, right, they are supposed to be representing Blizzard, right? Like that is their role, is to represent Blizzard. So if they're representing Blizzard by setting Blizzard up to fail, they're in the wrong there. Like I don't think there's any question, in my opinion. It's so the real problem with this is that you can't have a fucking balanced opinion on it anymore, right? Like there's no room for a balanced opinion on this topic. It's fuck Blizzard, right? And in some ways, 100% fuck Blizzard, because there's no question, right? They fucked up. They have fucked up real hard on, there are multiple failure points along the way. They have fucked up, but at the same time, you got to be able to, there has to be some fucking path out of this, right? Because the only alternative is
just to keep doing this, is to keep censoring people and not letting them talk about these things.
Exactly. Like you need to either be able to say stuff. You need your athletes to be allowed to say stuff without being terrified of having everything they've worked for removed from them and then being suspended, right? There needs to be that path forward. And at the same time, you need to be able to show that there are consequences for speech that is deemed particularly, I don't know, out of the ordinary, in a negative way. That's not Blizzard's reaction is too far to the right? That is a reaction that will lead to people not wanting to speak around Blizzard, right? Because
or the opposite.
Or what? Saying it over and over until they won. Yeah, that's absolutely possible.
What are they going to do if 80% of the Hearthstone players now come out and start saying that shit to stick up for this person?
Yeah, that's a good point.
They fucked themselves. Because this is exactly the same spot that happens with the NBA, or even you look at what's going on with South Park, and let's talk about the consequences of what happened with those guys. South Park's being pulled from China, completely. They released a statement, as in this sort of the way that those guys would, basically taking the piss out of them, and so in the last about 12 hours, the NBA then put out a proper statement. Adam Silver, the commissioner of the Basketball Association, basically said, in case it wasn't clear, we definitely made a mistake with our first statement. It didn't really represent the way we felt, but basically the end of it was we are supporting our players and their freedom of speech. That has not translated well at all in China. What's happened there is they've ended up pulling basically the NBA broadcasts. So there won't be any NBA games being broadcast over there. And what was going on was the Lakers were due to play the Brooklyn Nets in Shanghai.
Yeah.
So those games seem to be... I don't know if their games have been actually cancelled. From what I've read from ESPN, they've said that for whatever reason, you can't buy tickets on the website anymore to purchase at that event. So it's still sort of up in arms whether or not that event has been cancelled. It's in a couple of days. And this is only really within the last sort of 10 hours that this stuff has gone through, so we still don't know the whole story. But at least the broadcasts have been pulled. There were community events that were happening in Shanghai between the Lakers and Brooklyn Net players that have been cancelled. The Houston Rockets have basically all but had their business ties cut from China, who are basically the Chinese team that everybody supports. Reason being that Yao Ming, a very popular Chinese player, a Hall of Famer, was on the Houston Rockets many, many years ago. And that's sort of like the team that China has adopted as their favorites. There's obviously lots of teams on there. China is bigger in over there for basketball than it is in the United States. So you've got all these sponsorships being pulled now for basketball. The CBA is cancelling all sorts of games, G League games over there. Like, there's been huge ramifications over the last 12 hours in terms of this stuff. And there's nothing to say that it won't go further, to the point where they may just ban it entirely. And that's a huge blow for the NBA, because it's, as I said, the NBA in China is bigger than what it is in America. In terms of viewership numbers and whatnot, there's over 1 billion people that sort of that can be watching this stuff. So it's a massive market, and so that's kind of what Blizzard is battling right now. If they kind of let this stuff keep going on, they get to a point where there's a possibility that their games get banned over there, and they lose the biggest market in the world. And so them taking these extreme measures is obviously a massive business decision. While people are turning around saying, I'm not going to buy Blizzard games anymore, losing the biggest market in the world as opposed to a couple of thousand people is probably worth it for them. But at the same time, there's the human aspect that you're talking about of like, it is not the right thing to do. And so you've got to weigh up those options. And unfortunately, Blizzard is a company that is out to make money. And so at the end of the day, they're probably going to put their money forward.
As Racy pointed out, members, like employees at Blizzard, have been like covering up the think globally and every voice matters values on the like at Blizzard HQ and stuff like that. I think is another unforeseen, like unexpected outcome. The human aspect is more far-reaching than just the immediate, the immediate like dicking of a competitor in their fledgling sport.
Right.
There will be employees who are not happy with Blizzard utterly failing to stick to their posted values, their posted core values as a business. I like, and that will have further ramifications. That will have an impact beyond the immediate short term of Blizzard maybe getting censored in China. That is something that I think, again, knee-jerk reactions can't really take into account. Knee-jerk reactions won't take into account. There's a reason why it took the NBA so long, and it's because they were attempting to work out every part of this decision. I don't think they arrived at the right place out of altruism. At the end of the day, a business decision is a business decision, and I don't think the NBA is courting, the world public over the Chinese public. I think they are betting someone on the other side flinches. I think they're betting someone blinks.
Yeah, they're basically saying that we may not, or we don't want to get involved with these political issues, but we're not going to stop our players and employees from speaking their own mind. Is where they're pretty much coming from, and they're hoping that on the other side they're going to look at that and go, oh yeah, that's fine, but that's probably not what's going to happen. Judging by what's happened in the last couple of hours.
Yeah, exactly. To be honest, I think China's reaction has been fucking gross. Like, absolutely gross. That is like the wielding economic power in an attempt to mass censor other nations it's economic warfare, essentially. And yeah, the idea like from the Nets owner that we're supposed to respect China's values and China's perspective over something as simple as the concept of free Hong Kong, which can be interpreted a billion different ways, but the even the most pessimistic of interpretations would still be, hey, maybe people shouldn't be getting fucking shot and killed on the fucking streets of Hong Kong for wanting democracy. There's no charitable fucking reaction to that from the perspective of the authoritarian government that is actively attempting to oppress millions of people. So from that perspective, I lost my train of thought. I got right into it. I got like fucking way down the rabbit hole of what the fuck is going on in Hong Kong because it's fucking horrible. From that perspective, right? I think that's fucking like what China is doing to attempt to silence people outside of their country is pretty gross.
Yeah,
is extremely gross. It goes against Western core values as society. The idea of freedom of speech and the ability to criticize governments and stuff. And I think you see a lot of knee-jerk anti-reactions will point to the many failures of freedom of speech in the Western world at the same time. There's no question that those exist, like fucking Peter Dutton being a fuckhead and attempting to hunt down and cancel the fucking Centrelink of people who went to the climate change rallies. That's some Gestapo shit. Fuck him. Fuck that egg.
I'm missing some juicy news back home.
You're missing you got enough fucking juicy news over in your new fucking country. But yeah, like that, there's no question that it happens elsewhere. Like but that's bullshit, right? Like that doesn't have any impact on what is happening right now. And yeah, Blizzard's in a fucking tricky spot, right? Blizzard is in an understandably tricky position where their options are shit-tastic. But fucking Jesus, I don't know how you fucking pick the worst one like as fast as humanly possible, right? Like it's like when I'm playing like an RPG and I'm skipping through all the dialogue and I get to a fucking question, I'm like, I don't fucking care. 3.
Yeah, how do I do this?
It's like, fuck you, fuck your family, fuck everyone in this town, and then you shoot him in the head. And you're like, that was the wrong choice. Do you want to quick load or do you want to actually commit to this decision?
Yeah.
Like, well, fuck. Yeah. My personal position is, I think hand him a suspension until the next season of like Grandmasters. Give him his fucking prize money. I understand not working with the casters again, and that is probably where I draw the line, right? And I think from like because it brings up there's another fucking topic in here, right? There's another fucking topic in here that doesn't get talked about a lot, and that is the influence that publishers have on esports compared to regular sports, right? Nobody owns basketball, right? And so the difference between the CBA, the Chinese Basketball Association, and the NBA is whatever the fuck needs to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
The people who create basketballs aren't going to suddenly ban everyone who talks about fucking the Rockets. They're not going to remove basketballs from people who talk about the Rockets, right? That's not going to happen. That can't happen, right? But Blizzard, being the sole proprietors of the particular esport that people are involved in this situation, which is Hearthstone, not to say that there aren't other card games out there, but in this particular instance, they are the ones running the tournament, the ones running the stream, finding the players, putting together the rule sets that they adopt and then immediately abandon, which is exactly what I said would happen when I saw the specialist system, but let's not get into that. Like they're the ones in charge of every single level of what happens in Hearthstone esports. Mm-hmm. And this is something that I think people haven't really looked into yet, but the reality is with like esports, if a publisher decides that you aren't to say something or aren't to do a certain thing, then that like they make it so they can make it so in so many different ways. They like Ubisoft are not doing this. They're not. I want to be clear. They're not doing this at all. But if Ubisoft were so inclined, they could. They have the tools available to remove players for saying certain things, or to remove certain speech, to remove like all those sorts of things. Mm-hmm. If they were so inclined, they could eliminate certain concepts from their games entirely using swear filters and stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. I've been reported a number of times, not by anyone in particular, not by anyone I've been playing against, but by the automated system for calling my enemies cunts in Rainbow Six. I have absolutely been reported a couple of times for calling them cunts. Mostly, I think the reason I haven't been banned yet is because they look back and they realize that my enemies were cunts in those situations. But, right, they could go further, right? Those systems exist; they're in place, and at the time, right, they were championed as the ability to remove toxicity, and I still think that they absolutely are, right? I'm glad, upon reflection, I'm glad that my enemies didn't know that I'd call them cunts. But that's only because I didn't want them to know that they'd gotten to me, more than anything. They are cunts, and they should know that they're cunts. But I would like them to know that later, right? On the flip side, right, and again, to be clear, Ubisoft are not doing this. But lots of games have lots of different fucking swear filters, and those filters could be employed in any number of ways. Those filters could be employed in a variety of different ways that could significantly impact the way we communicate with people in games to essentially like censor people, right, or to push certain ideas and stuff like that. No company is doing that, but it is something that we have to keep in mind for the future, because it's only possible in esports. It's not possible. Like if the NBA were to suddenly, if the NBA had years ago sided with Donald Sterling, right? And every halfway decent player who wasn't a fuckhole decided to just fucking up and bail. They were just like, oh, well, like,
start my own basketball.
Yeah, the fucking fucking 5 richest players in the NBA got together with some other like-minded fucking people, and like, we'll just make our own fucking, slave owner, free of slave owners fucking association for basketball, and people could fucking watch that instead. I would watch the version that, LeBron was playing in.
Is
And
there a
LeBron would
4-point
probably
line
have
in
fucking
this
left.
version?
Uh,
And and also
dunks count
spots
for threes and
spots on the ground that change, and when you shoot
your
from those
theory-
specific spots, you get extra points.
Is your theory that the North Korean basketball is the slave owner free version of
Best
basketball? Because I don't know. But yeah, no, like they could take their fucking ball and they could go home, right? They could fucking get out and go make their own basketball system, and people would fucking watch it, right? You can't really do that in esport. It's not possible, right? You can't just fucking, I'm tired of the way this is going, so I guess I'll just go play fucking Hearthstone over here instead.
Yeah.
No, Hearthstone actually, like fucking shit, like after StarCraft 1, Blizzard baked into the terms and conditions of their games the fact that they control competitions on a fundamental level.
Mm-hmm.
That was to curb the influence of the South Korean esports system. Like, that's esports history, right? Like, but that's baked in. It is from the fucking ground up. You aren't getting away from, if you are in their ecosystem, even open ecosystems are still subject to that sort of stuff. Like, even like StarCraft 2 onwards is a closed esports ecosystem, right? There are two ecosystems, closed and open. StarCraft 2 onwards. StarCraft 1 was an open ecosystem. StarCraft 2 onwards, every other Blizzard esport since has been a closed ecosystem. Riot, League of Legends is a closed ecosystem. These games are controlled from the ground up by the publishers and developers of the game. On the flip side, the open ecosystem, the most famous, I'd say, is Dota 2.
Oh yeah,
right?
Counter-Strike.
And Counter-Strike is probably a close second. These are the most famous open ecosystem games. Valve's influence on them is spotty at best. They, obviously they have a few huge strikes where they wield their influence, but beyond that, they're sort of happy to let it go.
Yeah.
Let people do whatever. And both ecosystems have their strengths and their weaknesses. Generally the strength of an open ecosystem is that players can do largely whatever they want with the game. And so the game can grow in whatever way they want. Yep. And so if players don't want to compete in Counter-Strike Source, then they can continue to compete in Counter-Strike 1.6. And Valve's only option to respond to that is to find some way to get the players to play the version they want, which they did with Global Offensive, obviously. Yeah. But nevertheless, even in an open ecosystem, Valve has still wielded their power. Obviously with the player who was, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but there was a player who was banned. No, what? I was flying. What?
I'm trying to think what happens.
Southeast Asian team player who was caught talking shit on Chinese servers, got banned, and then the team attempted to cover the situation up, and they inevitably got banned from the Shanghai major.
Right.
Was it Shanghai? I'm pretty sure. The team got banned. It was a big deal a little while ago. As more information came out, the team looked worse and worse. They were attempting to cover things up. They were lying, etc., etc. And because it stemmed from a inherently racist comments, they didn't really get the support that Blitzchung got. Valve's options were pretty fucking limited. But
this is the one where Valve said they were wanting the team to decide what to do, and eventually they the team decided, and then they didn't make a good enough decision, so Valve stepped in and fucking made it for them. Is that the one?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the one. Yeah. Like, I guess my point is, like, even in an open system like fucking Dota,
Yeah.
the publisher, the developer, still wields an enormous amount of influence. They still wield that power
Yeah.
that you just won't see in any other sport. And it's, I think the implications of that need to be fucking considered as we move forward now, more than ever before, because traditionally it's sort of just been we will cross that bridge when we come to it. But I think we have come to that bridge. I think we have arrived at that bridge. I have seeded the concepts of this discussion in a lot of my fucking stories for the last year or so. But yeah, like, ultimately, there is a large discussion that needs to be had about the breadth of the influence that developers have, because it's absolutely one of the trickiest fucking things. I mean, start from fucking Call of Duty, right? Start from Call of Duty. How do you have a Call of Duty World League with franchise teams if the game's going to change every year? Like, would you have a fucking rugby union like league, and then next season they're playing rugby league?
Yeah.
Oh, it's pretty close though. The next season they're playing AFL.
Yeah.
I think so. Like, what the fuck is going on there? How the fuck does that franchise work? How the fuck do you, like, how are you supposed to commit to that kind of stuff as a franchisee, as a fan, as a player, as anyone outside of the company, the billion-dollar fucking company that has a vested interest in releasing roughly the same game every year but slightly different?
Yeah.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. That's a good place to start. Or, you know, obviously another good place to start is, what are you supposed to do if your country is being directly oppressed by another, and you find yourself with an opportunity to shout out to your people? I don't know. Like, get banned for an entire year, I guess, as a alleged grandmaster. That's not great.
Yeah. I feel like this is going to backfire on them.
I think it already has.
Yeah.
I think it already has. Yeah. Like I said, like, there's no room for fucking nuance anymore, right? Like, there's no, like, I didn't want to say any of this on Twitter, right? I was going to react on Twitter immediately, but it's so fucking tricky because you can't fucking cover every fucking link of this, right? How long have we been talking?
It's
We've been talking 40 fucking minutes.
Characters, right? Or is it? Is that what it is? 140 characters?
Yeah, you got 280 now.
280,
but
sorry, yeah.
Yeah, you got, like, we've been talking for 40 fucking minutes, and I don't think we've covered it adequately. But I don't know how to go into more depth without retreading a lot of the same fucking ground again. So unless this podcast is literally just us talking about that,
no,
and it isn't. No, like, it's fucked, right? There's no room for nuance. Ultimately, like, I'm looking at fucking reviews, like user reviews of Joker, right? I went and saw Joker last week. You've seen Joker. People are still, like, people's knee-jerk reaction to this film, just garbage. I've been reading, like, letterboxd reviews, right? Like, because I've spoken before, but I review all the stuff I watch on letterboxd, and yeah, people are like, oh, blah blah blah, incels, blah blah blah, Todd Phillips is a fuckhead. You know, like, that's not a review. What the fuck is Letterboxd supposed to be for? Like, what is it? Just another fucking place for fucking Metacritic reviews or some shit? Like, is that what it is? I don't know. Like, yeah, like, can't I go see 0-star reviews on fucking Metacritic? Why would I go for them here as well. Like, it's weird, right? Like, there was one that was, this movie means nothing. They just went, what's big right now? Incels and Antifa? Those are the same, and rolled it all into an existing character. Did you watch the fucking movie, dickhole? Like, what movie did you watch? Because how the fuck is that at all what that film is about? Like, it's such a yeah, it's just reactionary, right? Like, people are so quick to have, nobody wants a fucking measured take anymore. Everyone wants a fucking hot take. Fucking those Glenlivet fucking, did you see those Glenlivet cocktail pods that they were fucking pushing on Twitter?
No.
Did you see those things? Glenlivet's a whiskey manufacturer, and they've invented the new way to have drinks. And it's basically a little sack, and it's filled with and it's basically like an alcoholic lolly. You like pop it in your mouth, the film around it degrades in your saliva, and you get a shot of some sort of custom-made cocktail, right? It's not pure whiskey. It's not like it's not a fucking, they're not using their fucking Glenlivet 21 or some shit, right? Like, this is not the fucking great stuff that you're buying in a big fucking box, and the box has a bottle in it. The bottle goes into your fucking little snifter glass so you can fucking get the right nose on it, whatever the fuck. Mm-hmm. This is a different way to experience alcohol, basically, and people losing their shit. They're like, oh, you don't know how whiskey works. You can still drink whiskey, right? Like, they're not coming into your house and smashing all your whiskey bottles and then fucking, here, have these fucking Tide Pods, cunt. No, that's not what's happening. Just fucking drink whiskey, right? Like, what? How is this impacting you? I've got no idea, right? But no, you got to be quick on the draw. You got to be like, yeah, fuck this. Fuck Joker. Fuck them. Fuck these guys. Fuck everything. Everyone's just fucking bang, 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 and there's no time to fucking work out where the fuck. And like the slower cunts still want to make their jokes, and because everything on the internet is time free, right? There's no. It used to be, back in the day, if you want to make a quick-witted quip, you'd actually have to say it in the moment, or you'd be made fun of being slow. You'd be like, yeah, well, you're the fucking jerk, and everyone like, what the fuck? Like, what were you waiting for? Like, what was the big pause about? No. Now, right? Because anything can go up whenever. You just be like, oh, well, I didn't see the movie, but now, right? Like, everyone's fucking taking their time. They're still having their hot takes. They're not waiting or trying to have a nuanced fucking discussion. It's just fucking boom, straight in. It's fucked. It's well fucked. So I guess what I'm driving at is, it was fucking, like, I'm terrified, right, of trying to have this discussion on Twitter, because I don't think anyone is interested in having a discussion on Twitter. Like, there's no way to have that conversation. It's just a surefire way to fucking piss everyone off.
It's also fucking movie. It's not real.
Oh, I was switching back to the Blitzchung issue.
Oh, right. Yeah, no. The whole, like, it portrays mental illness poorly, and it's like, yeah, but it's not trying to. It's a film. It's not real. Oh my gosh.
Are we going like?
No, I don't want to talk about it.
Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, are we just going to go after every movie now?
Clarice?
It's portrayed aliens badly, so I'm not going to watch it. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, basically.
Anyway.
So if you're still with us,
yeah, I'm sure stuff's going to happen in the next couple of days, and we'll get some more info. We'll probably be talking about this next week, this Blizzard stuff, but we'll see.
We won't go for 50 minutes next week.
No. All right, Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Let's kick off with that. You had a chance to jump in. I don't know how much you've played. We played a little bit together. I don't know if it's like obviously jumped out at some stage and you were still playing with a couple of other people, but like whereabouts Like, what were you kind of getting up to in that game? What was going what was going on? Because when I joined you, you were trying to fight. I think I jumped in and you were trying to basically kill a bunch of elites, and that's where I joined in.
Yeah. So that was right at the start of the game, right? That's like right at the start of the game, and I knew you could do it.
Yeah.
I'm up to the final boss fight.
Yeah, my experience playing with Joab in this game is like completely different to the way I've been playing it. It's like Joab's like, how can I fucking not break this game, but no, it feels like it feels like
you had it. I'm trying to break it.
Well, you know how you hear about these games where they're like, let's go with the Outer Worlds, right? Where they say you can play this game and you can beat it without killing anybody, right? Or you can play like a pacifist or like that sort of stuff. And you've got those other games where it's like what was it, for like Far Cry 3, I think it was, where it's like you can finish that game in 10 minutes if you just like stay in the room. This is how I feel like you're playing Ghost Recon. By not playing the actual story, you're just like, I'm going to fucking brute force my way through all the high level areas, which you can do because everybody dies with a headshot. Yeah, and so I'm curious to hear about how you're playing this game compared to how I'm sort of playing it. Like, I'm still in that place where I'm not really doing main missions. I'm just kind of fighting around, exploring. So yeah, what's going on?
So I'm up to the last boss fight, and so I'm fighting the Punisher at the moment. Last time I logged off, I need 4 people. I need 3 other people to help me do this fight because I can't do it on my own. But I can absolutely. It's definitely. I'm there. I found him. Which is what matters, and I killed everyone in the base around him, and then once you've done that, you're able to like walk in and trigger the cutscene where you confront one another, and there he is standing at the back of the room.
So wait, without going into any detail, how did you find him? Did you just stumble across him, or did you?
Oh no, it was so fucking easy. It's crazy easy. So to clarify. I am up to mission 3 in the main storyline. Okay. Go to Freeport, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't done that. I got to the mission. So the mission that you joined me in that's mission 1, where you investigate the choppers.
Yeah.
As far as I understand it.
Yeah.
Investigate the choppers. Mission 2 is go to the like main hub area. Yep. That's mission 2, and mission 3 is go to Freeport. And I have declined to go to Freeport. Instead, I was looking at my pins, and so the main missions it tells you to do, there are like 3 of them. There's go to Freeport. There's talk to people in the hub area to get all your tutorials out of the way, which is the most annoying of them. And then there was another one, which is Find Walker. Right. And Find Walker is like right there, and it's like I think it's like interrogate captains to find where Walker is.
Right.
And so I was wandering around level 200 base, murdering everyone.
As you do.
As you do. And I can't believe I did this. I can't believe I managed to do this. But all I could see of this dude, like I was in a sniper tower, and because the AI can't climb ladders, you just go up the top of a ladder, and then you can just murder everyone by throwing grenades down the ladders. Like they'll just beeline up the fucking stairs and get to the bottom of it, and you just drop them. They'll kill you in 2 hits if they see you, if they get a line on you. But if you just you can just drop grenades. That shit's easy. Or you headshot everyone, whatever. So you headshot like 90% of everyone, but the dudes who come too close to the tower, you can't really get an angle on them. So you just wait for them to come in, drop grenades on them. This one dude refused to come over. Refused. He was stuck up against the wall, and all I could see was his legs. So I shot him in the leg, and then I finished killing the other dudes, and I went over to him because for some reason I hadn't wiped out the base, but I was like wandering over because there was like an objective over there, And there he was, like rolling on the ground. He's like, oh,
Oh yeah.
and so I pick him up and I interrogate him, and it's like Walker was last seen at the Hunter Airfield Base.
Okay.
And so I went to the Hunter Airfield Base, and I found the last boss of the game, as far as I can tell. And so that's what I did. So me and Kleb wiped out everyone on that base. I needed Kleb's help because there's one of those giant tank things.
Yeah.
And I have killed them on my own, but they're a pain in the dick, and it's much easier with the second person because you can sort of just trade threat.
Yeah.
You hit them with a rocket, they hit them with a rocket. You hit them with a rocket, they hit them with a rocket. There goes all their armor, and they'll die in either 2 more rockets, or you can literally just fucking like small arms them to death.
Yeah.
That's a lot easier. Otherwise, you need like four of your own rockets while still getting fucking mortared the whole time.
Yeah.
It's a pain. Yeah, so we knocked that out, went inside. There's Walker, about 20 level 150 dudes. They all still die to headshots, but they also two-shot you, every single one of them.
Yeah.
And I just there's not like really very good cover. The moment you walk in the door, you're sort of standing out in the open, and so if you're not paying attention, you're just sort of standing out in the open while a billion dudes murder you on the spot. So you got to fucking immediately get to cover. You'll probably cop a shot while you're trying to get to cover, and then you just start to get to work. And at best, we managed to take out like 5 of them, which is not enough.
Yeah.
There's like fucking 20 of the cunts, and then you kill Walker. And so what I think needs to happen is 3 people take out ads, 1 person focuses on Walker, and I assume the credits will roll.
Yeah. Interesting.
What I think is happening, Breakpoint has an amazing game somewhere in it.
It's got like identity crisis, I feel like. Like it doesn't know what the fuck it's supposed to be.
100%.
Or
100%.
Or they were making this game and like, I don't know, like 6 months, a year before it was supposed to be out, like a fucking boss walked in and was like, what's all this then? You can't make this. Nobody's going to play this game.
What's all this then?
Yeah. Where's my loot? Where's my loot gone? I want my loot in there, and I want my I don't know what else, my online services in there. And they were like, oh, okay, we got loot. We'll just get the Division stuff and kind of put it in there. But they kind of put it in there, but it doesn't really do anything. Like it's there, you can get loot, but I don't know why the fuck there's any loot in the game. Yeah, it's such a weird mix. Like you've got this injury system that seems cool in concept, but that doesn't really matter much.
You can break down all of the core systems in Breakpoint that are utterly thrown away. You can break them all down in that first mission. They all exist inside that first mission. All the coolest shit of Breakpoint exists inside that fucking first mission arc. Finding the 3 choppers that get shot down.
Yeah.
Right? And all of them get pissed away immediately. You land, and you've got the fucking drawn out Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater style healing yourself, where you slowly and carefully fucking bandage yourself up, and you get yourself back up, and then you literally never use another bandage again.
I've used it once.
Never use it. Why?
Because I was just I was commandoing through a fucking a checkpoint, and I was literally shooting at like 20 guys, and because I can take so much damage, I finished that fight, was still alive, but was injured, and so I bandaged my leg up, and it's literally still bandaged. Like I was telling you the other day when I jumped into your game, I'm like, oh, it's still bandaged. That's cool, but
it's like, weird and cool, yeah.
But like, why is it bandaged?
Syringe. Like even if you take 2 blips of damage, you syringe and you go, you get back like to full. Like you can just syringe twice if you have to.
Yeah.
Like
unless it's
there's no need to bandage again.
Unless it's like the Batman system of, Batman, you play Batman and 30 hours in, your bat suit's all ripped up and like there's tears on your mask and like your cowl is like a bit like there's a snapped off on the top, that sort of thing. Like if that's what they're doing in Breakpoint, I'm all for it. But if it's not doing anything like that, because I feel like I've seen the same leg being bandaged up all the time.
Yeah.
Like if my dude looked like he'd been through hell, like he's got scratches everywhere, there's bandages all up his arm. Like if they said there's 30 different points on your body that you can bandage up and will get wrecked, and yeah, that'd be cool. As like a like a being able to show you the sort of your all the things or your trauma that your body has been through during this journey. That'd be cool. Yeah. Even if it's got no gameplay purpose, just like the look of your character, like your battle scars, it'd be awesome. But I don't feel like it's doing that. Like
it clearly felt like it was supposed to have gameplay purpose.
Well, right? Yeah, you remember the first reveal? They had you like rolling down that hill and like yeah. I don't think I've had that moment in that game because I can just turn around and murder everybody.
Yeah. Oh, there's a chopper coming. All right. Fucking well, I headshot the pilot, so the chopper's not a problem.
And now it's hurtling towards me.
Yeah, my biggest problem is it going to crash on top of me? So the first thing you do, you fucking bandage yourself up, right? Never use bandages again, or you use them once, even though you can use syringes, which I'm constantly full of, and yeah, I think I've used 3 syringes. Mostly because everywhere I'm taking on, if I get shot, I'm dead.
But wait, sorry. Can you use the syringe when you've got an injured body part?
Yeah, that's what you use it for.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Bang, syringe. No needs bandage. Moving on. Next up, follow the smoke columns to find the other chopper racks. Okay. Let's do that. Except for the fact that by default they've turned that off. And you've got guided mode on by default. That is the biggest betrayal that this game involves, is the fact that guided mode is on by default. And when you switch to exploration mode, it says this is the way the game is meant to be played.
Yeah,
right? Like, exactly then why the fuck is guided on? Yeah, why is guided on by fucking default? That is fucking heinous, right? So, follow the smoke things. Now, okay, cool. So I'm finding fucking smoke things. Cool. That's pretty rad, right? Next, you get to the second one. You've entered a level where everyone is dangerous. All right, fair enough. What like I don't really understand what that means, fundamentally. But I've got a gun, so I'll just fucking shoot them all, and you can shoot them all, and they all die to a headshot. The idea being in that instance is that gear is supposed to impact your ability to. Or your choices, your decision-making process when deciding a engagement to take. Gear is supposed to influence that. Except for the fact that, just by random, I happened across a couple of chests, and so I got more than a fucking pistol. Even if I had a pistol, I still would have fucking tried to headshot all of them. But nevertheless, I've got a fucking level 1 fucking M4 that already has a sick fucking ACOG scope on it and a silencer. So I'll just fucking bang, 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 bang. Everyone's dead. Move on, right? So they've undercut their gear system, right? Immediately, which shouldn't exist anyway. You run to the third fucking smoke column and you run over a fucking watermelon or some shit, right? You're like, okay, I'm collecting watermelons now. What? What the fuck do watermelons do? I've collected, I would say, 1,000. And I have no idea what for. I obviously haven't cared to look, but I don't know.
There's a weird crafting system in there where you can use all these materials that you find, and you can sort of make items like 10% to stamina, or like damage resistance and things like that. Like there's these different sort of items that you can craft and consume, and then later on it's like when you start destroying drones or getting explosive materials, you can create C4 or different types of grenades and that sort of stuff, like all the consumable items in the game. So I've not used any of the like food stuff yet, but I've definitely crafted materials to throw at people to make them explode. But otherwise, yeah, I don't know why I'm collecting coconuts.
Yeah, I assume I'm gonna, once I kill her, I open up a greengrocer or something and I sell.
Yeah, exorbitant prices on the island.
I mean, they're fucking wild harvests, man. Like, of course they're going to be exorbitant prices. These are not your fucking farm-grown fucking watermelons, mate.
Yeah.
These are, fresh found, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I introduced a crafting system that I make literally no use of. And then I go to a hub world that explains far too much. Far too much that I don't give a fuck about. But like by and large, the biggest thing that it explains is that there are these bivouac points all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
Is that how you say bivouac?
Bivouac. Bivouac.
Yeah.
Bivouac.
Bivouac. Anyway, yeah, all these things all over the fucking place. I've never visited one. I think we visited one together. You made me go over to one, like just sort of fly next to one.
Don't drag me into this.
You absolutely fucking did.
Yeah, I used
right,
it
and
one
I
time.
found the rest of them by interrogating cunts.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you've unlocked this bivouac, and I'm like, so now I can fast travel there.
Yeah.
Even though I never. Okay. So they piss away. They've got the fucking biggest map in the fucking game I've ever seen, and they piss that away by having fast travel all over the place without me ever having to fucking visit the place. It is literally just, here's the system, and here's how we've ruined it. Here's the system, and here's why you don't need to use it. Like, just over and over and over again. Like, the fact that I can fight Walker right from the fucking get-go. I reckon I could probably just go straight to the fuck. Right? Like, straight over to him. I wouldn't even need to do any of the other shit. I could skip going to the fucking helicopters, skip going to the hub world, and just go straight to fucking Walker. Now I don't know where he is. I don't see why I couldn't, right?
That sounds like that's rad to me.
That's
a cool idea.
That's fucking sick.
Yeah.
That is... Breakpoint, right, is like... It's like if they were like, oh, Wildlands was cool.
Yeah.
Right? Do you
but
know
how
what's
do we
cool?
get rid of all the mob bosses that you've got to sort of like take out in order to weave your way through like the network of organizations and that sort of thing? Whereas this is like you can just go do it.
Well, it's like, do you know what else was cool? Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
And in Breath of the Wild, you could immediately go kill Ganon.
Yeah.
What if you could immediately go kill Walker? What if, like, you could just, right from the fucking start, go and kill the big boss? And they're like, that sounds fucking awesome. And you know what else is in Breath of the Wild? Fucking crafting shit. And, like, hardcore survival shit. And, like, yeah, and, like, fucking, there are watermelons and stuff.
Seeds.
Like,
they've got so many seeds in that game.
Yeah, fucking stacks of them. Yeah, they're like, yeah, why don't we make Breath of the Wild, Ghost Recon Breath of the Wild, right? Breath of the Wildlands. And they're like, no, that makes sense. Yeah, we're fucking doing that. And then they go a year in, or a year ago, they were like knee deep in making that game. And then your scenario where the fucking boss walks in, he's like, what the fuck is going on in here? And then like fucking like 6 of the designers are playing fucking Zelda, and they're like, no, this is for research. And they're like, you better fucking load up the Division 2 right fucking now, or you're in fucking trouble. And then they're like, oh yes sir, and then they fucking hammer in a bunch of bullshit that nobody fucking gives a fuck about. And yeah, like, I find Breakpoint fascinating in the way that it has failed itself.
Yeah.
That it is so dramatically failed itself.
Yeah. And I guess that's the thing that like I was talking about last week, is that I'm having so much fun with this game, but I'm not playing the game the way it seems it's supposed to, like they're wanting me to play. Like I'm playing it the way I felt like they originally wanted the gameplay.
Yeah.
Like I am sort of just
I'm trying to
exploring and doing missions by myself and like just doing it that way. Yeah, because there's just too many systems in there where you look at it and you're like, this is fucking, like, why is this even in here for? I still like the idea of getting loot and like leveling up some of those stats in terms of like your accuracy and whatnot, but I just don't, I can't see the connection as to why that is in there in terms of like you having like level 200 areas. Like I don't know what the connection between those two things is. Like what is my loot doing that enables me to go to that area and be more successful?
because it's not meaningful loot in any way, right? Like the difference between a level appears to be like a percentage, like a single percentage.
Yeah.
Because it's so fucking shoehorned in. Which means that, like, yeah, having a 1% increase in my fucking stability is utterly fucking meaningless. There's no visible change that the loot brings unless you don't change loot every like 20 fucking
changing loot. I'm like level
20 plus levels.
75, I think, at the moment.
I'm 45, and I just don't care. Like I just don't care to change loot. There's no point, right? It doesn't like it's idiotic that I can go into a level 150 base, clear it the fuck out, and then walk away with a bunch of level 20 shit, right? That's dumb. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know how that fucking scans, but I guess you got to balance it somehow. Otherwise, you just beeline to the level 200 place and then then finish the game super quick.
Yeah.
On the flip side, if the fucking loot system hadn't been fucking half-assed into the game, then this doesn't seem like it's my fault. It's not my problem that Ubisoft says they introduced the loot system because fundamentally they found that players in Wildlands didn't have enough motivation to continue playing Beyonds, finding their favorite weapon and then giving up.
Right.
Which makes sense, right? Because that's exactly how we played it. We found our favorite weapons. We would look on the map, we'd find a weapon that we wanted, and then we'd go to it, and then we just fucked about. Right?
Yeah.
I certainly never came close to finishing the story in that. That is a problem with the storytelling. That is not a problem with player motivation. Introducing a half-hearted loot system does not change that motivation. It is an extra motivation system, but all they have managed to do is negatively impact every other system in their game as a result. And the reality is, Ghost Recon Breath of the Wild is a game that I would be motivated to play and finish. Is a game that, like, if it was fucking behind enemy lines, if it was like Armor 2's main campaign was basically behind enemy lines, right?
But on a good engine.
The movie with Owen Wilson. Yeah. Yeah. If it was behind enemy lines but with a good engine, mate, I'm in. I want that game. I would play it every fucking day of the week. I would play it 1 billion times. That sounds fucking sick. Like, and yeah, you chuck co-op in there? Holy fuck. Like, yeah, sign me up, man. Like, that'd be brilliant. I don't understand why we keep seeing milsim type shooters that make concessions to, so many modern player efforts, comforts, and then we still haven't seen anything come close to the sorts of campaigns that Armor has repeatedly chased. Because Armor seems enthusiastic about chasing down these broad, massive scoped games, and then they implemented in something hyper janky. But that's a fault of the engine, and that's a fault of the degree of realism that they chase.
Yeah.
So if you were to wind back on the degree of realism and put it on a good engine, I don't see why we couldn't have a exceedingly fun armor style experience in Ghost Recon, and yet instead what we got was a game that's like The Division but significantly worse.
Yeah.
And I say that as someone who hated The Division 2. So, like, that's not good.
Well, it's a game that feels like it's they had this hardcore game in there, or like they had Ghost Recon, they had this game worked out, and then we're like, how can we make it even more hardcore? But also went in another direction of like, how can we also make it more arcadey at the same time?
Yeah.
It's really strange. So yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said last week, I enjoy playing the game. Like, I have so much fun playing it, but at the same time, I'm like, there's so much weird shit in here that I just do not understand why it is in there. So I'm just gonna go around and just play it the way I want to play. Like, I'll turn guided mode off. I'm going to go explore all these bases and work my way through them, and like that stuff is really cool because you find areas and you're like, well, what is that's going on over here? And then you go and explore it, and there's not a lot in terms of like variety that's sort of going on. It's like I said last week, it's a puzzle game where you go through and you clear bases. Find the way that you're supposed to go through, and then on odd occasions they'll throw in interesting things that are sort of happening, like the world building stuff. But otherwise, it's super basic, and it's kind of disappointing.
The AI is not good. Like,
no.
The AI is not good. The only challenge that you receive is from the drones, and the drones are pretty badly done, in my opinion. Like the difference in power between even like a heavy gunner who requires 2 headshots, which is still excessively easy because he gets staggered on the first headshot.
Yeah.
So he's like, and you're like, and then he has to turn, and you're like, all right, I'm just gonna line this one up. Check my watch. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna calculate the Coriolis effects and wind distance, and let me calculate. Boop, 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 boop. Bang, or I already lined up this headshot once, so I'll just fucking tap the fucking button again. Bang.
Yeah.
Down he goes. So they're not challenging, and then you've got the fucking drones, which are like fucking murder machines. Like, also fucky AI. I was in that. I did the Walker base at one point, and my drone got seen.
Yeah.
And so everyone went into alert, and then they shot the drone, and everyone was like looking around. Not the robot that was on the scene. It just started mortaring me.
Yeah.
Even though I was 350 meters away from where my drone was seen, it just started mortaring me where I was. So, that was pretty fucked. That was lame as fuck.
It's because the spy satellites in the sky, they know. They can see.
That's what it was. Yeah. God damn it. Anyway, bad AI. But it feels really good to shoot. Like, good shooting system, I think.
Yeah. That's what I said last week. I was surprised by how good the shooting was, considering when we first saw it. It was like, this looks not great.
Way off. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, we said this about Wildlands. Like, I want a battle royale in this engine so badly.
Oh yeah.
So bad.
Yeah. In this engine, on this map. Yeah, give it to me. Oh man. The snake in the grass plays you can do in this.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit.
Because just the environment is so awesome.
Extra camo, yeah. They do a really good job. Yeah.
And think about like putting some of those tools in there, like the I'm obsessed with this wire cutter fence thing, like the blowtorch to cut the fences like that. That'd be cool. Just putting like all these awesome gadgets. Like you've got the you've got your gas grenades and your normal grenades and your intel grenades that you can throw that ping people. Like being able to use those things in a battle royale, or even just like a I don't know, have the drone be like a crate weapon or something that you can use for a certain amount of time. I don't know. Like those sorts of ideas are interesting, or even just like you can look at the PvP, the Ghost War stuff, and sort of get an idea of like, it seems like they had the fundamentals of how to make a battle royale, but then they didn't really do it. They kind of put those ideas into a deathmatch scenario, which makes me hope that they do have something in the works, because I did interview them and asked the developer about that, and they said they didn't say no, but they said we're focusing on Ghost War at the moment.
Ghost War,
yeah. So yeah, I absolutely want that. Even like, obviously they'd have to make the map smaller, because the map is stupid big. It takes minutes, like, just to fly across the map in a helicopter.
It's a chopper across, yeah.
It takes so long to try and do that. So yeah, like there's so many cool things about there. If they were to make a third game, I don't know what you'd call it, but just tone back all the gear stuff, or at least make it feel like it needs to be in there. But yeah, just like go even further into the hardcore side of it, and toy with that a little bit more. So, because I think people will like it, because they're definitely onto something. Like, it feels good, and they've got great ideas. And like I said last week, that exploration mode, I want that in all of my RPGs. Like, I don't want to be told where the fuck I need to go anymore. You know, I like the idea of even just being in a team where it's you and I looking at a map and trying to decipher, like, all right, it's got these 3 clues. Where are we supposed to go? And like,
that was really cool.
And like figuring out, no, I think it's over here, and you're like, no, actually, I think it's on this side. And I was like, all right, well, let's put beacons down, and we'll go over there, and we'll see if we can find it. Like, all right, that's cool. As opposed to just fucking pinging it for a location, being like, all right, well, I think it's over here.
We'll just fly.
Like, I had moments where there was one mission where it wanted me to look for a downed plane, and so I knew the rough location of where it was supposed to be by putting a beacon down. So I just got in a helicopter and flew over the top, and like looked for a downed plane in like this giant area, and you know, doing that sort of stuff is awesome. And then obviously I jumped out of the plane, the helicopter,
obviously
parachuted, because who cares?
Obviously,
So yeah, like I still have fun with the game, but there's also like, you can still enjoy a game and have fun with it still being not a good game. Yeah. Anyway, hopefully they fix it. I mean, Ubisoft has a good reputation of sticking with their guns on the games and really trying to, you know, make them last as a service. Obviously, the last game did that a lot. So we'll see. Maybe they'll fix a lot of this stuff. Who knows? And that gets a really good point. Anyway.
Maybe.
So yeah.
Next.
What's up next?
Apex?
Yeah, I've been playing a little bit of Apex. I'm not sure if you've had a chance to jump in at all yet.
I played, yeah.
You all right?
Yeah.
You checked that new map?
Yeah. I'm not wild on it. I don't know. I don't know if it's just that I think it's what you were saying last week. There's not enough loot.
Yeah. So
I feel like I'm going into every fucking late game encounter, if it comes to that, right? Like, with sweet fuck all. There's not enough. It feels like there's enough loot for a fucking single person at any given location.
Right.
We had so many games where we exited a location where we landed on our fucking own, and nobody had a fucking helmet. Like, that happened over and over again. Like, that's crazy.
To speak to that, I did see a post on Reddit within the last couple of days saying, like, someone went into details about like map size, comparing it to, you know, World's Edge to Kings Canyon and that sort of stuff. You know, how many zip lines are there? Not zip lines, the balloons. Anyway, they went into details about like comparing it to. World's Edge is definitely a lot bigger. The supply bins are apparently exactly the same amount number.
Right. Yeah, that's
where they fucked up. And I said this when I played it during the preview. I was like, feels like there's not enough loot. And I still feel that way. But different. At the same time, like, there's different types of fights they kind of want you to go for. I still enjoy the map. I like playing it. Just need more loot.
Yeah, that's basically it, right? Like, it feels bad to play on for me, because I feel like loot phase in a battle royale is important. right? Like, it is important. It is a key, like, element of the motivation for playing. People fucking, if I play with the third person crew, I can barely, in PUBG, I can barely convince those cunts to stop fucking looting. They love looting. They love it, right? They will loot literally to their own detriment. And yeah, me, I won't. I will give up on a spot as soon as my internal fucking register tells me we need to fucking leave. I will fucking sit in a car, honking the horn, telling them if we need to fucking go. I feel a good fucking measure of that shit. It hasn't been super successful on fucking World's Edge yet because it feels like it's the same size. Like, intuitively feels immediately, like,
when you look at it.
But yeah, to look at it feels like the same size, but it is bigger. So my measure of how far we have to go before we get into the fucking circle is off.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, nevertheless, yeah, like, it just, I just don't like feeling underwhelming, like, a level of fucking ability. Like, I feel like I'm under-equipped for a late game fight, and I do my best, but I'm wearing a fucking white fucking jumper and I'm rocking like a fucking alternator, like an alternator and a fucking shotgun. Like, it's just, and I got fucking 40 bullets from alternator or some shit. Like, it just feels like shit, man. Like, you've absolutely, and I understand the battle royales is supposed to be about making do with what you've got, but I don't come up against people in fucking white armor and shit. Like, I don't come up against other people who've looted two like major fucking sections on their fucking own who are wearing fucking white armor. Yeah, like, it's pretty fucking weird, man. Like, I just don't understand what's going on. I know, yeah, everyone gets loot fucked and whatnot, but Christ, I don't know what I'm supposed to do better. I can't outplay getting loot fucked. And yeah, it just feels like that is happening way too much. So I've bailed for now. I will come back in for the Halloween event, which we'll talk about later. Yeah, for now, until they fix the fucking loot situation, I've got no interest in playing it.
Right. So I've been playing a bit of ranked. I had a game yesterday, which was really good. Where we got into, there was only a couple of teams left, and we ended up in a fight with, man, it must have been about 2 or 3 other teams. 2 of my guys went down. I managed to fight off like 2 of the teams, but there was 1 team still left, and I was struggling to do anything. And so I just kind of smoked my way out of there. I was Bangalore, and nice. And then just like ran. I was like, I need to bail from this fight. I don't think I can win. And so I eventually got into one of the last circles, and there was 3 teams left, and these 2 guys are still watching me because they want to see how it's ranked that I want to bail.
Yeah.
And so the 2 teams are fighting each other outside in this industrial area, and I'm not shooting at all, and I'm kind of just waiting for them to, like, one team to drop, and eventually, like, one guy goes down, a second guy goes down, and they start dropping, and then it's the 1 team left, and I eventually climb up on the top of this roof, and I'm shooting at this wraith, and then she goes, she phases, and then ends up running like past me somewhere, and like underneath into the building I'm like standing on. It's like a giant warehouse thing, and then so I jump down, I go into the warehouse, and then she leaves, and then she's on top. She's now like on top of this warehouse, and the circle is coming in, and it gets to the point where the front doors are basically like blocked off at this stage. Like, you can't go outside the zone without getting hurt, and so the entire circle is basically on top of this warehouse thing now, and it's got like windows, so you can see outside, and she's like just standing on the window, and I'm just like squatting the entire time, and then she's doing the same thing. We must have stood there for like 4 minutes. It was just 2 people left. I wasn't sure if it was 2 people left, but I could only hear her.
Yeah.
I'm like, I am in a lot of trouble here because it's a Wraith, and I'm not going to win against a Wraith. I had a level 3. I had a gold shield, which means I can hold
Heal.
I can heal quicker.
Yep.
But she's also a Wraith, and so what Wraiths can do is they can put their portals down and basically just go between them, and they're not going to take damage because they're phasing through the portals, and so I'll be taking tick damage, and then I can try and out heal that, but she's probably gonna win, and so I'm like, I'm fucked. Like, I don't know what to do here. And the guys are messaging me on the chat, and they're like, you might just have to out heal her, and I'm like, I don't think I can. And so I chuck down, and it's like the zone starts coming in, so I chuck down my ult, and she's on the roof, and the ult starts going off. And what I do is I run outside the zone, and I am chunking so hard. I climb the roof, and I just get in, and then I immediately pop a med kit, and it heals me pretty quickly. And I jump up, and she fucking shits herself because she doesn't know I'm there. And like, we just start battling, and she's got a gold shield as well, and I'm like, oh my god, what are the chances? But yeah, I killed her, and so we end up winning that match. The guys are chatting, they're like, the fucking plays, man. Like, they couldn't believe I went and did that. Yeah, it was a really cool fight.
That's right.
Yeah, so I'm still having a lot of fun. I think we got, because I got 6 or 7 kills in that match. I think as a team we got like 12 or something. So yeah, I got like nearly 2 levels or close to a level and a bit in my ranked. But I'm still having fun playing and jumping in there and just playing with random people. Obviously, it's a bit hard to play with you guys, but yeah, I'm still digging it. They've started the new the vaults are now open on the map as of today.
Oh yeah,
and so these are the ones with. There's actually 3 vaults on the map. I only thought there was one. I only found one during the preview, and while I was playing sorry, was it
in the mines? Because that's the only one I found.
Right. So the one that I found during the preview was in the like the hot springs area. It's like a cave north of that.
Right.
And then when I was playing the other day, I was running through another cave, and I was like, oh, all right, there's more than one. And it turns out there's 3. And so what's happening now is the cargo bots that fly around the map, you can destroy them, and they've got a rare chance of dropping a key, and you can pick up the key and go to one of these rooms and open them up. It takes a couple seconds to open it, but once you get in there, it's got a lot of high level gear. So there's about 10 items in there, ranging from like purple shields and gold shields and helmets and whatnot. So yeah, interesting way to sort of change up what's going on that map.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm still having fun. I've got a battle pass still from, I guess, just grinding out points through last season. It seems like I'll probably get another battle pass out of it for next season by the way I'm going.
You get a battle pass for Origin, I think. You got Origin Premium or whatever the fuck?
No, I don't pay for that anymore.
Right. I got 12 months.
Right.
Instead of giving me a fucking code for Anthem, they gave me 12 months of Origin access, which was, I will take that trade.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. So I got to pass out of that, but yeah.
Speaking of Origins, well, what is this?
Wow. So I went to a presentation yesterday with HyperX, which they make keyboards and mice and headsets and all kinds of shit. And they're basically releasing their new line of stuff in November this year, for Australia at least. And so they were showing off. You know, they got a headset that has fucking head tracking in it, which is pretty fucking cool. I haven't got it, but I'm very keen to get my hands on.
What do you use that for? Leaning?
You can use it to lean. You can use it for it's multifaceted. It's multi-use. So you can use it to lean. You can use it to the demonstration they had was he nodded and the player reloaded, which you'd have to be a fucking pod person to use it for that. But
why are you looking at the ground to reload?
Right? What the fuck are you doing? But yeah, it was also leaning by tilting his head, that's pretty slick. That's pretty cool. I like that. But the other thing they're doing is head tracking for 3D audio. So if you turn your head right, the audio will move to the front of your fucking soundscape, I guess, which is not something that is very common. And they're touting like 6 degrees 3D, which is up and down as well, all that kind of shit. So yeah, they're touting all that kind of stuff. They're going well deep on that, which is pretty cool. But I didn't get that headset. The other thing they showed off was their new mouse and new keyboard. So the mouse is the Pulsefire Dart, and the keyboard is the Alloy Origins. And mouse goes up to something fucking crazy in terms of fucking DPI.
But you need 600, so it's fine.
That's what it is. That's all I need, baby. It goes up to 16,000 DPI. And if I set it to that, I literally can't control the fucking mouse.
Yeah.
It just fucking spins, it pings from one side of like my left monitor over to my right monitor without me being able to fucking do shit. It took me fucking ages to unfuck that.
Yeah, this is how you. This is it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't care too much about that kind of stuff. It's got the correct amount of fucking buttons for me. I'm coming from the G903 Logitech, which had a wider mouse wheel, but had like traded that for fucking smaller buttons, like smaller mice buttons. This one has slightly larger mouse, LMB and RMB. It doesn't have the fucking right hand side, so it doesn't have mouse 5 or 6, which the G903 had. So it had mouse 3, mouse 4, mouse, and the G903 has mouse 5 and mouse 6, so buttons on the right.
Okay.
So you can use your ring finger to press buttons as well.
I feel like I'd be pressing that button all the time.
I distinctly remember having a I was playing fucking, was that fucking that game where it murdered children? Stitcherio, or yeah, Cronkerio.
Okay, yeah. The Counter-Strike.
Yeah, but it was in a fucking browser. Every time I'd like grip, I had mouse 6, I think, bound to back button.
Yeah. And
I'd back out of the fucking game, and it was driving me fucking nuts. I had to turn the buttons off. So I'm not that sad that I'm missing those buttons anymore. But yeah. So turns out I only need fucking mouse 1, mouse 2, mouse 3, mouse 4, mouse 5. That's all I need, essentially, which is fine. Yeah, it's good. It's light. It's not super light. It's not one of those ones with holes in it. It does wireless charging, like with a fucking
with a mouse mat that has a charger.
Yeah. But I'm going to leave it plugged in because I just don't care about fucking wireless mice. I just don't move my fucking hand that much.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it seems like a good mouse. I've only used it for a day, but so far it's been pretty good. I like it. The other thing is a keyboard, the Alloy Origins. They're boasting all kinds of stuff, like one of the lowest depressions or whatever the fuck it is. Like, I don't really know too much about fucking mechanical keyboards, but does it sound less clicky?
That's super loud. No, I don't know. It sounds less. We'd have to play something else. Yeah, that sounds less.
It's definitely less. It's definitely less than my old clackety clacker.
Oh yeah.
But
I could never hear anything.
Yeah. People can still hear this thing, but
yeah, like in PUBG, all I could we'd play the game. What is louder, the red zone or Joab's keyboard? It was very hard very hard to distinguish the two.
Fuck off. So yeah, it's still a bit of clackety clacks, but nowhere near as bad, which is good. My main problem is that the keys are slightly narrower than the keys on my old. I was all Logitech before. I had a Logitech keyboard and Logitech mouse. So now that I've switched, it's slightly off.
Yep.
And so I everything I wrote yesterday when I switched keyboards was typo fucking city.
Yeah.
It was just fucking typos all over the place. I'm like fucking enhance, but instead of enhance, it's like enhance. And then nobody can fucking understand me. Doesn't make any sense.
Your mouse is going everywhere. You can't do anything.
Exactly. Yeah. It was a nightmare. But now I'm used to it. It's working really well.
Nice.
I'm a big fan of it. Like it just seems shit does what it needs to. It doesn't do anything fancy.
Yeah.
But it does what it needs to, which is really what matters ultimately.
Did they mention when they're sending me one?
They didn't. They didn't say anything.
Interesting.
Yeah, it didn't come up. Yeah.
Funny.
But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna continue to hammer down on what a good keyboard and mouse is, because I think it's a very interesting facet of my game. I'm so used to. I'm pretty fucking pretty steadfast on the idea of playing on whatever is available, because often when we go to preview sessions, you just have to play on whatever fucking.
Usually, it's like a Microsoft $3 mouse, and you're like, "All right, this is what we're doing."
I guess. Yep. Cool. So I'm pretty fucking firm on that, but I do enjoy the idea of some easy way to level up my fucking game, because fuck, I need it. I need every fucking advantage I can get, man. I'm getting so much worse at being able to. I can't switch between games anymore. I can't switch from fucking PUBG back to Apex and back to PUBG again. I can't fucking do it. It takes me forever to fucking get used to another fucking shooting system in another fucking game and stuff. I'm clearly getting old, and it's depressing.
I haven't played any PUBG over here yet.
Oh, you got to check it out. You got to see how it goes. We need to know. The world needs to know.
So speaking of PUBG, it is on the list.
It is.
What's going on?
I've been playing quite a bit of it. Finally got some chicky D's again. Oh, I can feel it again. I can feel the sneeze coming on. No. All right, I'm back. Finally got some chicky D's again. I feel like it's been forever since I got a chicky D, but I realized like part of it is, like I was saying, I can't switch systems anymore. I'm finding it exceedingly difficult to switch systems. And so I've found it really hard to win my fucking 50-50s. And it's so critical to win a fucking 50-50. But over the long weekend, I played a bunch of it, and I'm clearly fucking back, baby, because I was winning 50-50s all over the place. So I had a bunch of really good games where I felt like, we're just fucking hammering. Also, big part of that is, I don't know what it is, I feel like because I went away for so long, and because I've been so unsure of, the new map, Vikendi, and how to parachute and how things work in the game and stuff like that, I feel like nobody was listening to me anymore. And when we listen to me, we win fucking games, okay? That's what happens. When we listen to Joab, we win fucking games. When we don't listen to Joab, we don't win fucking games. So now we're all listening to Joab again. We're starting to win some fucking chickadees, which is all that matters. I had some really good games. I chucked a video up, or just a link to a Twitch stream of getting fucking ganked by fucking McClutch and Linksy and shit.
Some pros.
They fucking boomed us pretty good, which was rough. Not much we could do about that one. We just got fucking rickety wrecked. That was fun, but I prefer games. Like, you can hear Linksy's like, oh, it's fucking Joby. If I'd known that the person I was attempting to peek was Lynxy, I wouldn't have fucking peeked him. You know, like
Yeah.
that's that's not fair. I fucking need nameplates.
Yeah. If LeBron's running at you, you're not like, I'm going to try and block this dude.
Time for the block.
Whereas if you're blindfolded and you just hear someone stomping at you, you're like, I might try and block this person.
Exactly. That was the mistake I made. Yeah, I'm like the no respect peak. I will no respect peak people over and over again, unless I see fucking Zoidmate getting kills, and I'm like, that. I saw them get the down. They've got to be pretty close. I'm not going to start peeking anymore.
Yeah.
Gleb and Drew, they'll fucking peek anyone every day of the week. They'll fucking peek. I think they only peek. I think their default position is peeking.
Yeah.
Like,
isn't that what Heat's button is? It's E, just constantly. That's his forward button.
Yeah, 100%. Those dudes peak for days.
And then they're surprised when they get headshot. Like,
they're like, why did I get? Oh my lord! Oh, I'm down. Oh, how did that happen? I don't understand.
Yeah. Oh my button. Oh, it's E. I'm pressing.
But yeah, I would not have peaked them. I'm telling you. But no, had a bunch of games. We were playing. It was a Kleb, Racy, Heath, and me, and we jumped in. We were on Vikendi, and had a ripper of a game. Where we came into the final circle. We had collectively done 0 damage as a team. I was in full level 3, vest, helmet, and backpack. I believe Kleb was in vest and helmet, level 3. Racy was in vest, helmet, backpack, and a white ghillie. And Heath was there as well. And but no, we were fucking geared out of the fucking wazoo. Like, we had the best gear I've ever gotten in a fucking game of PUBG in my entire life, and we did not see a single fucking person. We could hear people, we didn't see anyone. And we wound up just fucking like looping them and wrapped them up. Like, let the last team fight it out. We knew exactly where they were. Waited. They got the win. Finished them off. Easy peasy. Chicken dinner. Straight in. And then next game was on Sandhawk. So I made us jump docks from the get-go, which is the hottest drop of all. And we got wiped pretty quickly because we landed late. And then, so after... Oh, was that docks or... Well, it was like this... The hottest of fucking drops. It might have been fucking base camp instead, like the middle base. Just a really dumb. I just hate Sandhawk. Honestly, I hate it. I hate it. I don't want to play it. Like, unless we're hot dropping. I like it for hot dropping, basically, but I don't want to play it for regular because I hate it. So yeah, if we're having a good run, and so we switched to hot dropping because Liam swapped in for Kleb. Our LJM swapped in for Kleb, and so we just wanted to, get his eye in or whatever, hot drop. So I stayed on Sandhawk, did the hot drop, died immediately, queued again onto Vikendi. We won this game like fucking ballers. It was not the fucking 0 damage run of the previous round. We went fucking huge. Race got a fucking sick kill. There was I think there was 3 teams left. And me and Racy versus 2 versus 1. And Racy got a kill. Racy got downed. I pushed onto Racy. They were going for the finish. I got the kill on them. There was 1 left. I got Racy back up, and we immediately split as far as we could across the width of the circle. And then I see the last dude, and he's standing in the middle of fucking open. And Liam's like, "Oh, I thought this must have happened. I saw a notification come up. I think this dude," and then I get the kill, and he's like, "Yeah, that dude got banned." And the dude got banned mid-game for cheating and just got removed. But the player model was still in the game.
Right.
So he was just sort of standing there, but because he'd been banned for hacking, and so I clipped it, chucked it up on Twitter, and a bunch of people were saying, yeah, that's like they'd never seen it before, but people are actually getting banned mid-game for cheating now, which is awesome. I think, like, yeah, fuck him. You could, like, I had my strong suspicions that he was cheating beforehand because I watched the kill feed, and I saw his name come up about a fucking dozen times. So he was definitely banging. So yeah, he got fucking removed for the hacking, which is sick. That's fucking awesome. I was so stoked to see that, and obviously it was the easiest chicken dinner of my life. I don't know if you saw the clip on Twitter. I put it up on Twitter, but if he'd still been alive, we would have lost that game. I guarantee it, because holy shit, my shooting was terrible. I must have fucking emptied fucking 15 bullets his way, and I think 3 of them hit him. And then I'm like,
he wasn't even moving.
Yeah, and then I'm like, hang on, he's not moving. And then I pull out my fucking sniper rifle and line up his head and finished him off. Jesus Christ. No, luckily. Like, I don't know if I could have put it on fucking Twitter if I'd missed. It was embarrassing enough putting it up as it was. But yeah. It was, yeah, that was an easy one. Yeah, it's just, had a really good one, with the third-person crew, where, like, just the most surreal game I've ever been in. Like, Vikendi again. I'm really getting a feel for Vikendi. Like, really starting to like it. It's a bit like there's a lot of space between cover in that map.
Yeah.
So I get why people don't like it, and I'm still not 100% on how fucking sound travels in that map. But apart from that, like, yeah. Like, I've had a lot of success on it. We had this one where we got into this fucking building. Like, we landed, I think it's called Milner. But we were landing there, and like 2 other teams landed, and they fucking beat us in to land at Milner. And fucking, so we dropped short and landed at like the warehouses instead. And we looted up, moved around as best we could. It was the third-person crew plus like an extra rando, and the rando fucking landed in Milner itself, and so we had to cover him while he extracted himself, because he extracted himself under fucking heavy fire. We managed to get him out, and we gave him fucking gear, and we like geared him up, and he was like super grateful. He was a decent dude. The third-person crew turned with voice, like in-game voice chat off, so they can't hear anyone, but which I think is a huge mistake, because even if it's not to hear randos, you can still hear other teams talking sometimes.
Yeah.
So anyway, so they couldn't hear him, but he was very grateful. And yeah, we kept moving around, and the circle just kept the circle literally ended on the warehouses that I landed at the start, like literally where I started the game. That's not where we were by the end of it, though. We were over in this fucking house nearby, like this little cluster of houses, where utterly surrounded at this point. There's still like fucking 40 people left, and the circle is quite small. And it's just like the fucking weirdest shit. I get fucking like ripped up to a bee's dick of health, and just managed to get into cover. I have literally no idea where the fuck this damage came from. I can't work it out at all. We're playing in first person, just to clarify. We only, like, the third person, I still call them a third person crew, but they're exclusively first person now, which is awesome. And yeah, I've got no idea where we got fucking ripped up from. And I just sort of get in cover, telling the guys to come help me out. They work it out. He's in the building next to us, and it's a 2-story, but it's on a level that is an entire like story higher than, like, it might be like a story and a half taller than our house. So he was literally just looking down, and he just fucking vectored me 90% to death. like ripped me the fuck up. And then so we engaged in probably one of the longest fucking ongoing battles I've ever been in. It involved fucking Trigger Trigger got down like 3 times. The Rando got down twice. On the other side, we downed them. We must have downed them like fucking a dozen times. Everyone was out of grenades by the end of this little tete-a-tete. And then like it was just out of control. Trig managed, like, we got him back up, and Trig managed to down the dude in the building above us again. And I'm like, fuck this. So I just fucking balled in and like rushed it down. And while I'm rushing it down, these 2 fucking BDRMs drive up, 2 of them, and they're fucking like Mad Max, like smashing into each other the whole fucking way. And like they're just driving up, like just near me. And I'm like, don't have any time to worry about that. I start like, I'm copping fucking sniper fire from like back the way we came and like down this way, and there's fucking bullets pinging all over the place. These 2 fucking tanks smashing into each other, and I fucking leap over this fucking fence and into the fucking room. And there's like this dude, and he's just like helping his mate up, and he's like, you could see his like entire thing just turn, and he's hasn't stopped the fucking thing, hasn't stopped the fucking revive. And so I'm just like, fuck it, empty into him. We get the finish on the other guy. There's another dude upstairs. I fucking do him. One of the guys jumps outside, gets, I think, Rando. Rando goes down. So I go get him. Trig runs up. I go get the guy who got him. Trig runs up to help him. Another team arrives. The dudes in the fucking BDRMs crash around the other side of the fucking building from us. So they like crash into the building next to us.
Yeah.
And they get out, and there's gunfire. Like 2 fucking entire teams are just emptying into each other from fucking 4 meters away in the house next door. This other team runs up to try and fucking like third party us. They managed to get Trig while he's reviving the other dude. I wiped all those cunts out. I wiped them all out. It's fucking easy peasy, right? Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm just like fucking Rambo up in this shit. And I'm ripping them up, and then fucking the other 2 teams wiped each other. I don't know what happened. I honestly don't know how they all wound up dead, but the house next door, which is a 1-story with a bathroom, like it's the smallest fucking house, and you walk into that house and there are bodies everywhere, like fucking everywhere. There's easily more than 8 bodies in this fucking house. Like, there must have been another team or something. I don't fucking know. But there's nobody there. Because me and Krim, like, fucking walk in, and we're, like, fucking terrified. We're certain there's someone here, right? Nobody. There's 2 fucking BDRMs parked outside. They're not harmed. They're, like, perfect. They're unbelievably fine. And there's, a fucking massacre inside. And, like, I just don't know. I just don't know what happened in there. And then we sort of, like, gear up. We wait it out. Head into the circle. Get inside this barn. And there's a dude sitting in the fucking rafters, and he lights us up when we walk in. And I didn't get away from that one. But we ripped shit up in that game. It was fucking the weirdest thing I'd ever experienced. Because it was like those 3 houses in particular were the fucking Ark of the Covenant or something. Like, everyone, they didn't know why, but they needed one of those fucking houses, and everyone was going to kill each other over it. Because, that fucking fight went on for fucking yonks. Yeah. And, in the end, it was just absolute chaos. And then, we died extremely pathetically to a dude hiding in some rafters. And the worst thing was I was beelining to go climb up in the rafters myself. So I don't know why I didn't check. I don't know why I didn't have a look in the fucking rafters. But I didn't. Oh, what are you going to do? Good times.
Yeah, sounds exciting.
Yep.
I have to jump in. I have to check it out, see what's going on.
Yep. Yeah, do it. What else we got? Afterparty.
Yeah, Afterparty. So I got a chance to check this out in San Francisco. So Afterparty is sort of like a follow-up to Oxenfree, which is a game released in 2016 by an independent studio called Night School Studio. And we talked about it, or I talked about it many, many years ago. It is, well, it was a graphical adventure game where you controlled a group of characters that were going onto this island to have a party, basically. A bunch of weird shit happens. It's like a 80s inspired supernatural thriller horror sort of themes that are going on there, and a huge emphasis on dialogue and conversations with the characters. The way it was sort of put was it was kind of like a walking simulator, but in like a graphical adventure sort of style. There's no combat or fighting or anything like that. You were kind of given a bunch of options that you can use as your conversations, and that's kind of how you advance the story. There's a couple of little puzzle elements in the game, but otherwise it's pretty simplistic, and yeah, it was a really good game. A lot of people really liked it. I enjoyed it. Had a couple of faults, but otherwise it seemed to tickles people's fancy. So I had a chance to go check out their follow-up. It's called Afterparty. It's a very similar vein in terms of that previous game, Oxenfree, where you are playing as two characters called Milo and Lola, and they have found themselves basically dead, and they are in hell. So they've realized there is an afterlife. They're not in the place that they thought they would be, and so after meeting a bunch of really colorful characters, they discover that there is a way out of there, and the way out of hell is to basically out-party the devil. So the game is really surrounded by this whole like drinking alcohol, and what that does is it changes your conversation choices. So much like Oxenfree, the game is surrounded in communicating with characters and talking to people and sort of discovering this world, and they sort of throw these like puzzle elements into the game for you to kind of solve, and the way you can sort of solve these is by using drinks, alcoholic drinks, and these alcoholic drinks change up your conversation options. So for instance, you might be at a bar and they'll give you like an option of 4 to 5 different drinks to choose from, and one of them might be like flirtatious, and the other one is like liquid courage, and the other one will be prison bully, and sort of like, yeah, there's all these different varieties in there. And so you grab the drink and you can walk around and drink it, and as you're talking to other characters, it will give you options based on the type of drink that you've decided to consume. And so, for instance, one of the very first areas you get into, you are trying to get upstairs at this bar, but there is a bouncer in the way, and he's not letting people in to, I think it was Tommy's party, the character's called. And you've got to try and figure out how you can get up to that party by avoiding the bouncer. And you can kind of talk to him, and he won't let you in there. And so you go back to the bar and you can buy yourself a drink, and then you can start interacting with people in the bar. And the way I managed to get through this particular scenario was I went up to a group of people that were talking using the I think it was the bully drink, and I made them I got in a conversation with them and encouraged them to get in a fight with each other, and that caused the bouncer to then leave his post and then throw these two guys out, and off he went. But I was talking to the developer after that, the studio director, and he was saying, yeah, there's multiple ways that you can actually approach that. You could go talk to somebody else and have a game of beer pong and try and like win your way to get up there and things like that. So yeah, there's not like the solution to get there. There's multiple ways that you can kind of work your way through this story. And the way they kind of put it was that they don't want people to feel like there's a hard fail in the game, or there aren't any hard fails. There's sort of different ways or roadblocks that you can kind of get through certain scenarios. And that's their gameplay mechanic. It's not it's not anything too overly complicated, but that's sort of how they've taken Oxenfree and then evolved that formula by having you can take drinks and you can get drunk, and that changes your conversations and the way you interact with characters now. Art style is really nice. It's a huge step up compared to Oxenfree. Sort of like this mix between a 2D and 3D art style, with lots of bright neon colors and like hard reds and that sort of thing. Oxenfree was very like neutral sort of greens and blues, like really light colors, and occasionally as you got towards the end it started to get a bit more, throw some reds and whatnot in there, but for the most part very simplistic, whereas this is lots of detailed. There's a lot going on, a lot of interesting characters you can look at, and the world is very interesting to sort of explore. And it's like I guess the way you explore it is like a side scroller, or like different scenes you can go to. And the way they put it is it's kind of like a pub crawl. You're going into these different pubs and exploring them. As the way he told me was like they see it as little Hitman levels, but not as deep as like a Hitman level. But they kind of put you in an area and you've got to try and figure out like how do you get past this certain scenario to further the story. So yeah, that stuff is really cool. The opening 10 minutes of this game are outstanding. It's so freaking cool, and I don't know why they showed it to us. They shouldn't have showed us this at all, because they let us capture the gameplay, and it's up online now. And I don't know why it's there, because I think it's such a good setup. Like, it's a really cool reveal the way they kind of do the opening of it, and I feel like they didn't need to show us that. They could have dropped us in after that bit and been like, play from here. That's not in particular to this specific event. They revealed the start of this game from, as far as I can tell, back at E3 or maybe before that, because I saw some gameplay footage back then, and they were showing off that section of the game as well. And I think it's I'm curious to know why they're showing this part of it, because I think the start of that game is really cool. It's a really interesting and awesome way to sort of introduce you to this world. So like all the characters, as I said, conversations is a huge part of it. It's really well voice acted. The writing is really good. So if you're familiar with Oxenfree, it's very much in that style. It's got some notable names that people will recognize as voice casts in these games. So yeah, there's a lot going on there. Sorry?
Who will you recognize?
There are. Let me try and think. I think it was the lady that was in Star Wars, the last Star Wars one. I can't remember what her name was.
Ray.
No. Like the Star Wars video game.
Oh, I don't know.
They like took her likeness as well.
Right.
Anyway, Gianna Gavankar. She was in Star Wars Battlefront 2. She's been in True Blood. Ashley Birch is one of the characters.
The main character from Battlefront.
Star Wars Battlefront 2. You know the lady? Character. The lady. I never played the actual campaign, so I don't know what character she played. But she was like part of the Empire, and I think she turns at some stage, like spoiler twist, but that's where
the Shiva. The Shiva from the League.
Yeah. Ashley Birch is in there, so she's obviously from Horizon Zero Dawn, Borderlands. She does Tiny Tina in Borderlands, or Tina. There's some really, really good voice cast in there. So, and it's really well acted. So I enjoyed that part, and obviously the writing is spectacular. It's whereas Oxenfree was this sort of supernatural thriller, this is leaning heavily into comedy, and they talked about some of the inspirations of this being shows like Rick and Morty, The Simpsons, Futurama, and then the sort of ideas of this adventure span from stuff like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Edgar Wright's The World's End, like the pub crawl stuff. So really big inspiration in terms of sort of those comedic films. And you can. It's like a huge genre shift compared to their last game, but you can see like the connections between the two games. Like you can immediately look at this game, look at the dialogue and the way the dialogue works in it, and the speech bubbles above players' heads, and then look at Oxenfree and be like, oh yeah, okay, same studio, I get that. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. I only played about an hour or so, which is what they showed us. Sean, the studio director I talked to, he said that it's probably going to take people about 8 hours to finish. Cool. But there's a lot of replayability to it. And so, for instance, you have to out-party the devil. You've got to out-drink him. That's kind of your task. And, at one stage, you've got to try and get into Satan's party, and you're trying to find out how you can get there. And there's multiple ways you can actually get into this party. And it kind of gives you objectives that you can go out and do. And like a little world map of the area, and you can pick which location you want to go to, and certain areas will have these objectives, and you don't necessarily have to go do all three. You can just do one of them, and that'll kind of lock out the other two and move you on to the next bit of the story. So in theory, you could go back in another playthrough and see kind of what those where that can kind of take you, and then also on top of that, try different drinks and sort of see how the conversations change up, or like how you can solve those areas. So yeah, there's a lot going on. They said it starts off really basic in terms of like the drinks you can buy. They treat them sort of like Harry Potter potions, where, like I said, the flirtatious and the liquid courage and the prison bully, upwards of like you can talk like a pirate by the end of the game and things like that. So there's a variety of different drinks in the game. It seems like, from what I've played, if you liked Oxenfree, you're probably going to like this if you enjoy the type of humor they're going for. But otherwise, everything I saw from it was really good. So I'm digging it. I talked to them about one of my biggest criticisms about Oxenfree was that the entire game revolves around conversations and dialogue. And at a lot of points in that game, you would get to the end of a screen, so a level, and your conversations were still going on with characters. And so if you decided to go to the next screen, it would cut off that conversation and you'd lose whatever was going on in that scene, or you wouldn't be able to talk about that anymore. And so you often found yourself kind of just standing there waiting for conversations to finish. And I talked to them about like if they're addressing that, or they could speak particular to that. And they said, yeah, that was a big issue that they learnt about that game, and they've now timed like a lot of the conversations, but also because a lot of these locations are now also contained areas, it means that you won't as easily be able to leave off a screen. Like those conversations will keep going, and when you need to actually leave, you'll know like it's time to go, and you should hopefully be done with all that dialogue by then. So yeah, right. It seems like they've learnt a lot.
Speaking of Oxenfree, you said I shouldn't play it because I wouldn't enjoy it. Yeah. Would I enjoy this one?
Maybe because of the humor, but at the end of the day, like it's not it's a story-based game. There's no combat. There's maybe some minor puzzly stuff, but otherwise, you're playing it for the story.
Right.
If you think,
and I hate story,
like I was gonna say, if you think that trying to outdrink the devil would be an interesting story, then yeah, sure, go for it.
Yeah, right. Another question: were there drinks at this preview session or what?
There were, but I went to a 10 o'clock drinking session.
Drinking session. Yeah.
Yes. So they had drinks. I can talk about it now because the embargo's up. Yeah, so they had drinks there. I don't know if they were alcoholic drinks, but they you can check out the developers' Twitter page if you want to. But they had like some drinks, and they had like eyeballs in them. They're very themed drinks. So yes, they were definitely there. The session I was in had like 4 people. Okay. I tried to get a later session, and they were completely booked out. There was a lot of things going on. I played it on Xbox. They were set up on Xbox controllers and whatnot. Seemed to work pretty well. Yeah, man. I really enjoyed it. a lot.
Cool.
I think it's going to be my jam. Like, I don't know if it's your jam. I would probably suggest, like, it's hard to say. Like, I think maybe go, if you want to, go watch the opening 10 minutes.
Right.
I think the opening 10 minutes are really cool, sort of the way they lay out that world and what they do. If you think that seems interesting, then yeah, maybe check out the full game.
Right.
But otherwise, I'm keen to play it. It comes out the end of this month, so in about 3 weeks, and it'll be available on Game Pass as well.
Oh, cool.
So
Sweet.
you won't have to buy it.
Tight.
Yeah.
Nice.
John Wick Hex.
John Wick Hex.
How much of this have you played?
Couple hours.
Right.
Yeah.
I've gotten past I went back and played a bit more today.
Yeah.
I got past the first area.
Oh yeah, I'm past there.
Yep.
I'm past there. I'm up to the mini boss at the next level, and that's fine. It's too frustrating to continue. Yeah, this is a classic case of fantastic idea and poor execution. Because I love building out the John Wick world, the John Wick mythos. I love the idea of that. It's such a comic book world, and so the style that they approach it with in this, which is that sort of reminds me very much of, you remember 13, that fucking
cell shaded sort of game.
Yeah. They do that here, and they use frames to frame things, and I think they do a really job of grounding the John Wick universe in its comic book themes, and so as a result, I think it works really well in that system. And you've got obviously Ian McShane and I forgot his name, the dude from The Wire,
Lance Reddick,
doing their voices and talking you through it. Keanu's not in it, but it doesn't really matter because he doesn't talk.
Convenient.
They've sort of worked their way around that, which is fine, in my opinion. The dude playing Hex, I swear I recognize the voice, but I can't pick it.
It's Troy Baker.
That's, yep. That's definitely it. But yeah, they've got really good storytelling and all that kind of stuff. And then I just think the execution of this game is off. I think the decision to bind everything to the hex on the hex grid on the ground is a mistake, because what it results in is far too rigid a game, and
it just makes him look funny.
It makes him sort of zigzag his way everywhere, which isn't so bad until they put in the replay system, or you go to the replay system, which I think is fine as a storytelling device to sort of link the narration of Hex and McShane and Reddick's characters. But beyond that, it's not a good, it's not the super hot style, right? That's what we were looking for, was that super hot style of making it all look fancy. I think the problem is that there aren't enough animations.
Yeah.
Right? The animation for John Wick to roll is the same in every fucking direction. It's just sort of in a different direction. Him ducking, him regaining focus by shaking his head, all of those things, they're all the same animations. And so it's not visually interesting to watch that stuff go down. And
they're not joined in any compelling way. It's like you can see when one animation finishes and the next one begins.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's no flow. Which hurts it significantly as well.
What I said was, I think I wrote it to you guys, but when they first revealed this game, it's a turn-based action game, and so I guess kind of similar to the way you think of it is like an XCOM type of scenario, where you
Yeah.
you move your character piece by piece. And so when they first announced this game, we were talking about it on the podcast. I think it was around E3 time, and
Yeah.
we were like, "This sounds really cool." You know what it needs? A replay system where it shows you back what you've done in real time, and then it like brings it back to you and shows you like the entire level. And it's to me, it's like they fucking heard that podcast and were like, "We got this," and then spent 2 months trying to make it, and this is what they came up with, and this is the best they could do. I'm not saying that's what they did, but it just seems really janky the way it's sort of put together. Like
it definitely seems like it was like they got feedback at E3 and they're like, "Fuck, I'd love to see it as a replay," and they're like, "Well, yeah, let's do that. Let's make it happen."
I think it was already in there at E3.
Right.
It might have been. Sure. I feel like Nate maybe mentioned it. But either way, it doesn't seem like it's been put together well.
No, yeah.
You got like weird camera switching and like the character is walking diagonally, like zigzagging, like you said, and it's just such a strange setup.
But like even outside of the replay system, it doesn't feel executed well. Like I think the immediate go-to for a lot of people is XCOM, but for me, it's Frozen Synapse, because Frozen Synapse does the turn-based thing, the simultaneous turn-based thing as well, where in Frozen Synapse, everyone has their turns and they move at the same time. In Frozen Synapse, you're pathing players, you're pathing your team to like move and then attack, and it's sort of like the planning phase of Rainbow Six back in the day. You know, like you draw a line and your player character will move along that line, and if they encounter someone along the way, it has a set of rules that will determine whether or not they will take an action or do whatever, right? Like so if they've got, I think if they've got an SMG, they can sling it up faster and fire. Or if they've got an assault rifle, it takes them longer. If they've got a shotgun, it's far more devastating at close range, stuff like that. There's a set of rules, and you need to know the rules of the engagement to determine, what outcome. And the interesting thing about Frozen Synapse is that everyone's moves play out at the same time. And so you will move, and they will move. And then the other thing about Frozen Synapse is that you can press play and not commit until you've decided you want to commit. And so what you can do is you can make paths for the other player. So if we were playing against each other, it's got AI, but if we were playing against each other, I could grab your players and drag them to places. I could pretend I was playing as you, and path you out, and then I could play out a scenario that results in you dying, in you losing, right? And I just need to find that scenario. At the end of the day, I need to find the one where I live and you die, and then I will win, right? Which is a really cool concept. The end state of Frozen Synapse is everyone exploits the AI. What happens is the ready state in Frozen Synapse takes a certain amount of time, and the unready state takes a certain amount of time. So what players found they could do was they could shift out a single frame to trigger the ready state, and then shift back in before the ready state had finished, which would force the enemy AI to trigger their unready state after they finish their ready state. So then they would be forced. So if we've got 4 frames, right? Frame 1, they start the ready state. Frame 2, they finish the ready state, right? And simultaneously speaking, frame 1, I move into view. Frame 2, I move out of view, right? Frame 3, so the next ready state that is triggered is unready, right? They have to unready. Frame 3, they trigger their unready state. Frame 3, I trigger my move into view again. And then frame 3, they finish their unready state. Frame 4, they finish their unready state. Frame 4, I start my ready state. And so by the time they are standing still, right, by the time we get to the next 4 frame cycle,
Yeah.
right, I am already halfway through my ready state. So my frame 1 is finish my ready state, and frame 2 is fire. For them, even though they're standing still, and technically they have the tactical advantage, because of the frame shifting, they have to start their ready state, and I have fired, and it's all one-shot kills in frozen synapse, so they die, right? That's what happened in Frozen Synapse. What happens in John Wick Hex is largely the same. When I want to win an encounter, I will just exploit the AI by ducking over and over and over again. And when I need to recover some focus, I'll just stand, focus, duck, stand, duck, stand, duck, until they get close enough, and then I'll take a step forward, and then I will disarm them. I'll take them down, and then I'll move on. Right, move on to the next one. If a bunch of them come at me, I can easily just shift between a couple of corners. It's very easy to find a bunch of places on each map where you've got a couple of corners where you can break line of sight. Once they break line of sight, they have to unready move towards you again. And all you do is exploit AI. That's the problem that I have with John Wick Hex, is that, it stops being about John Wick shit, and it starts being about exploiting AI. And the reason for that is because it is hyper punishing, which I think is a mistake. John Wick, to me, is power fantasy. John Wick does things that no person can do. So the idea of a John Wick game should fulfill on you being able to do things that nobody can do, which is why, for me, Super Hot VR is the John Wick game, right? Because you are able to, like, nobody can think as fast as John Wick can, right? So I understand the idea of freezing time and allowing you to plan out your next move, which is what you do in John Wick's Hex, right? But what you're capable as John Wick is not that special.
No.
You're not, like, you don't have the ability to do what nobody else can do. You are essentially a tankier version of anyone else in the same game world, because you can take 4 rounds of shooting compared to the 2 shots that most people can take, right? So that's a mistake, in my opinion. That doesn't really fulfill what John Wick is capable of. You don't feel more. It doesn't feel like, in John Wick 2, he outplanned everyone. In John Wick 1, he used his sick fucking gun jutsu shit to fucking murder everyone. It doesn't feel like that's happening here. Your choices are throw a gun at someone, take them down, or shoot them, right? Like that.
Push them.
Push. Like, it doesn't feel like you've got a lot of different fucking options at hand, which I think is the key problem, because it really reduces how powerful you feel, and it means that when you do take a hit, I mean, you can't rewind or anything. You can't, like, have another go at it. It's not like, what was that fucking? What's that other game? That other Devolver game where you'd rewind when you fucked up? The Samurai one. Samurai.
Yeah.
Like Rad game that I really liked.
Not Katana Zero.
Katana Zero, that's exactly the one.
Okay.
Right? When you'd fuck up a run of that, it would rewind the tape and you'd do it again, right?
Sure.
That doesn't happen here. I guess you can restart the level. I know that.
Well, at some point, it's the entire, like, zone, right? Because health and ammo carries on through the entire area.
That's what I was going to say. Like, that's what I was getting at. Is that, you can restart, but you, like, because the impacts of your actions carry over from, like, point to point to point. If you fuck up at point 3, by the time you get to point 7, if you haven't managed to rectify that mistake, you're going to feel the fucking results. You're fucked. That's what I reached. I reached a point where I was fucked. Basically, I'd run out of health kits, which I don't think he should carry his fucking health over from turn to turn, from, like, round to round, rather, like from map to map. I don't think he should carry his health over. The guy fucking doesn't have a habit of carrying his health. He literally resets before every fucking fight. I do not understand how they made the decision to force him to carry his fucking health over. I understand from a balancing perspective, but from a fucking John Wick perspective, the guy, like, there is literally a scene in John Wick 3 where they let him get his fucking shit together, and he then fights the dudes from the fucking raid at like, it's one of the fucking greatest parts of the fucking movie. So I just don't understand the fucking choice to make health carryover. But what happened to me was my health carried over. I ran out of fucking bandages. I was literally doing levels, hunting every fucking corner, trying to find bandages, because I understood on a fundamental level that it was important that I had more bandages, that I couldn't run out of them. Because if I take a fucking bullet, I don't have a fucking... there's no way back from that, right?
Yeah.
So I understand the situation at hand, but I cannot make anything change about it. I can't make bandages appear. I can't make guns with bullets appear. And so, yeah, it's like... I feel it's a failure on the John Wick, like, fantasy, right? Like, it just doesn't... It fundamentally doesn't convey what John Wick is about. And I just, like, so execution wise, I think. Otherwise, yeah, I love the aesthetic. I love the fucking... I love the music. I reckon the music's
really awesome. Yeah.
Music's so really good. They fucking nailed that. Like, I love so much about it. It's just, yeah, the fucking end result of a game that hyper punishes you across multiple maps is one that feels, I think, unsatisfying. And then there's the fact that I think there are infinite fucking enemies. I think there are not a limited amount of enemies, and I understand the drive to make John Wick always fight more people, but yeah, I'm doing like the one I quit on. I ran out of bandages. Entered this boss room with full health. But what I need to do is I need to kill this boss, and I need to do it after. So there's like a series of... It's now like it's just a puzzle, right? It's a puzzle game where the failure state is super significant. I need to... First things first, that I've searched this fucking area. There's not a bandage to be seen, right? So what I need to do is I need to kill everyone in the room, in the first room. I need to get to the boss, open the door. I need to kill the guy next to the boss immediately and then duck out of sight. I need to somehow get a weapon that has fucking 10 bullets in it, because I need all 10 bullets to kill his boss.
Yeah.
I need to close the distance on the boss and use the takedown to put him on the ground. And then I need to shoot him. And then I need to take him down again when he gets up. Shoot him, take him down, shoot him, take him down, shoot him, take him down, and shoot him, and he'll be dead. Which is how I killed the first boss. You can stun lock bosses to death. It is not cinematic at all. But it is like they have reduced the game to an AI exploitation puzzle. So that is the best way to do it. The fucking spanner in the works, the ghost in the machine, is that I need to do all of this while an infinite amount of enemies spawn behind me, constantly streaming in, and I need to like get away from them, which I can't do. I haven't worked out how to do it, because the problem is if I take damage, it's
like a lethal.
Yeah, it keeps getting worse and worse. So I have to decide who I'm going to take damage from, and I can't make that decision without being with the ability to undo it.
Yeah.
So every time I fuck up, it's basically a restart. Because now I need to be able to take down the boss. So I need the 5 phases to take down and shoot, to stun lock him to death. But I also need to be able to deal with the dudes behind me, and that takes a turn phase that is too long for me to deal with to then deal with the boss. So what I also need to do, right, as another enemy streams in, what I also need to do is then shift into cover to not get hurt by the enemies, take them out. So my options to do that are to either duck and roll, which costs me focus. So I need to manage my focus. I can't regain focus while ducking, so I can't be in cover while I'm regaining focus. So I like the fucking diagram of shit that I need to work out to solve this. It's too much work. And John Wick doesn't make anything look like work. That's the thing, right? Even like the super hot VR, right? Even at its fucking trickiest, right? Even when I was being my fucking exploitiest, right? Where I would like throw myself a gun, right? You could like, you'd start in one place, and when you've killed the last person in a position in super hot VR, you will teleport to the next position, right? But it's in real time. So if you shoot someone and then throw a gun at the place where you'll teleport, and then you immediately teleport and you turn and catch that fucking gun, you have a gun, right? Which is helpful in like a couple of scenarios in super hot VR where you start off without a gun and instead you've got like a fucking jar or something you've got to take out to do with a shotgun by throwing a fucking jar in. If you can just shoot him instead, it's significantly easier, right? Obviously, you're not supposed to be able to throw a version of yourself who's teleporting a gun. That's not John Wick shit. That's like fucking
Matrix.
Doctor Strange. Yeah, Matrix shit. Yeah, that's the wrong Keanu film. But like, even still, right? Even excusing my most Matrixy-est shit, I still largely felt like I was doing John Wick shit. I was analyzing the situation, and then I would use what was around me to disarm an opponent, get their gun, and then fucking shoot them. That's not what's happening in John Wick Hex. What I'm doing in John Wick Hex is some sort of fucking, like, crazy fucking chart that starts here and asks, you know, it's one of those charts is, oh, do you like cheese? Yes, no. No leads to, well, fuck you, everyone likes cheese. And yes leads to, oh, well, what kind of cheese do you like? Do you like bitey cheese, soft cheese, vintage cheese? And you're like,
smelly
I
cheese.
fucking know, it's cheese, dickhead. Yeah, smelly cheese. And you're like, smelly. And it's like, do you like mold? And you're like, well, who the fuck likes mold? Or yes. And then, you know, it leads you down to, like, here are all the fucking different fucking paths you can take. And they're in fucking super hot, the paths are like, can you throw something? Oh, sorry, do you have a gun? Yes, no. No, can you throw something at someone? Yes, no. No, can you get close enough to punch them? Yes, no. No, you're gonna die. Right? That's it, right? If any of those yeses, right? Just fucking, you do that thing. In John Wick Hex, it's like, no. And every single one of these things, like, most of them lead to, you're going to die. You're going to die. You're going to die. Did you get enough bandages? No. Do you have more than 7 bullets? No. Do you have fucking reliable cover? No. Dead. There's this giant box at the bottom of these fucking charts, and they all lead to fucking dead, and there's one fucking winding path that leads to fucking, oh, you win. And I just got no interest in fucking working out what that fucking win condition is. It drives me fucking nuts.
So is there any way to have more than one magazine other than the start of the game? Because I haven't figured out how to pick up magazines.
Only with your like John Wick's special weapon.
Right.
That's the only way you can have more than one magazine, as far as I can tell. Every time you pick up another gun, it drops the other gun. Like, it drops the first gun.
Yeah, he just seems to pick up the gun. And I'm like, no, pick the magazine up.
Right?
Eject
like,
the magazine.
Just fucking plop. Put it in. You got pockets, don't you? Fuck. Yeah.
So ain't you all got pockets?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, it's like, yeah, it's a puzzle game, but I just don't I don't care enough about the puzzle at its core, which is the real problem, I think. Because at the end of the day, it's just AI exploitation, which I find doesn't really strike at the heart of the John Wick experience, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I feel like I need to play more still. I know that when I was playing the start, I was like, I'm not. It felt too janky for me for whatever reason. I just like, oh, this is the game. Okay.
Yeah.
But seems to be getting good reviews. So maybe it's deeper than what I think it is. Don't know. Have to check out more, I guess. Just haven't had the time.
Yeah.
All right. Was that? I think that was it.
That was it.
All right. We can do some news. Boy, do we have some news.
Oh, yeah.
Let's kick off with the big one. Sony, the big console manufacturer, has officially confirmed the PlayStation 5.
The big console manufacturer. Who the fuck describes them like that?
Well, they're not a TV. They don't make TVs, do they?
I don't think so.
No.
What about Walkmans?
Walkmans?
Walkmans.
Yeah,
Yep.
maybe.
Not just the Walkmans.
No.
Walk
So yeah, PlayStation 5. That's its
women's
official
and walk children's
official name. In case people were not sure about that one,
I wasn't.
we've got a bunch of details for this. It's coming out in 2020 next year, holiday season. They're saying so, probably sometime before Christmas, maybe a year from now would be a good time. Just sort of mark that calendar.
Yeah. I would say a year from now. We'll definitely be playing it at the next PAX.
Yep, absolutely. Or they'll release it at PAX and just be like, fuck you, don't come to PAX. That could be it.
They could.
We've got some specs, a lot of spec information. This comes in conjunction with Wired, who had an exclusive interview again with Sony. They were the ones that did the very first sort of breakdown a couple months back when the console, or the next gen console, was announced. So we know it's got an AMD Ryzen CPU, and it's got a Navi GPU, and with that they also talked about ray tracing, and have confirmed that it will be hardware-based ray tracing and not software-based. The reason why people were a bit confused about that one was that AMD don't have hardware-based ray tracing at the moment, but that's not to say they won't next year.
Yes. That's my theory as well. Because Nate like literally talked to the big bosses at fucking Nvidia.
Yeah.
We put a story out last week. The competitive analysis of ray tracing.
Mm-hmm.
And he literally talked to the dudes at Nvidia, and in that story, he's got a great quote about how basically, from Nvidia's understanding, they just don't have hardware technology at the moment. So from his perspective, they have to be doing software-based ray tracing. Which, yeah.
Well, is this Nvidia saying this?
Yeah.
Right.
Because it's all AMD hardware in the next two consoles. Which is, it's a great quote, and obviously directly skewered by
this information.
This information right here. It just means that they have to have a graphics card coming that will have ray tracing on it.
Yeah, and I think that's the way. Yeah, I mean they don't have it at the moment, but we're a year away. For them not to have it would be a bit strange, especially when they're talking about this stuff. I think it's a big deal. Ray tracing is very good. We've talked about it a bunch with things like Battlefield and Control, which I still think is maybe the best looking game of this year, which heavily uses ray tracing. I installed Metro Exodus last night, so I'm keen to jump into that to check it out and see how that's going, because I've not yet played through that game at all. So yeah, I think ray tracing is going to be a big game changer for those consoles. It's going to make some of those games look spectacular. It's gonna like make ray tracing basically stock standard, which I think is cool. Yeah, we're going to see a lot more games really push that hardware.
Yes,
that's awesome. All right, a bunch more details here. We know it's got an SSD. They went into a bit more detail about that SSD in particular. So they talked about, I guess it's going to be, they're using some sort of technology so that you'll be able to have configurable installations, and that'll give developers the sort of the resources to be like, all right, do I want to install the single player campaign, or do you just want to install this multiplayer map and things like that? So they'll be able to go down in terms of that sort of level, in terms of the game accessing specific types of data. And what they're saying is they want to see eliminated is, hopefully we're not going to see any more loading elevators or slow walking scenes where the game is trying to like stream in all this information, because in the background it's actually unloading all that other crap in the background that, you know, normal hard drives can't do. And what that's going to mean is like bigger worlds and being able to do more, you know, bigger textures and whatnot. So we're going to see I feel like this is going to be a really big jump in terms of graphical fidelity and sort of the games we're going to get to experience. I think it's going to be a bigger jump than the last couple of generations at least. So yeah, I think it's a big deal with the SSD in there now.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. This I agree. I do think this is going to be the biggest fucking jump we're going to see, because like largely the leap for the last generation was one in terms of pixel density, I guess, like
sure.
HD, you know, resolution.
Yeah.
And it was easy to get away with that. This is going to be a lot more.
This is going to be lighting and streaming bigger worlds.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know if people are sold on the lighting thing yet, but I think it's a big push.
I wish I had ray tracing. Fucking I love the look of Control with all the ray tracing shit on. It looks so fucking sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, like, just, you know, I'm sure long-time listeners know, but I notoriously don't give a fuck about graphics if the gameplay is good enough. But like, yeah, it just looks good. It actually looks next gen.
Yeah. Well, Control is also atmosphere, right? It's
they've done so much right with Control. Like, it's unfair to say what they've done right with Control can be traced back to ray tracing, because I don't even fucking have it in my fucking shithole computer. And like, I'm still in awe of the atmosphere that they created with that game. But yeah.
Yep.
Anyway,
next up, 100 gigabyte optical drive, which is going to be using like large discs that you'll be able to put in there. So I guess we've seen some games recently that have been like 2 discs. What did that? Was it Red Dead that did that? Yeah, it was Red Dead. I remember now.
Right.
And I think The Last of Us is going to be on 2 discs. Was that correct? Part 2?
I
thought I saw something about that. Anyway, so bigger optical drives. And it's also going to double as a 4K Blu-rayer, which is big news because for whatever reason, Sony did not put a Blu-ray player.
Whatever inexplicable fucking reason, yeah.
Because they wanted to sell 4K Blu-ray players separately.
So dumb. So dumb.
So now they've seen the light. That's a huge step. 4K Blu-ray. They talked about, but didn't really go into much details about UI facelifts. And sort of like how it's going to... They seem to think... Well, Mark Sony is the lead architect on this again. He was talking about how like giving players information about like the games they're playing and like the areas they're in and...
I didn't really understand.
Yeah, and like how are they going to relay that in terms of like achievements and whatnot. So I'm curious to sort of hear a bit more about that. It sounds like you obviously read the article as well.
Yeah, but it didn't really come across like he was like, oh, and you can't even see what objectives your multiplayer friends have? And I'm like, it's a fucking multiplayer game. Like, what the fuck are you in? Yeah, and Luke's now going for A in domination. I don't give a fuck. Who fucking cares?
I'm going to B. I don't get killed.
Should be going for B, yeah.
Yeah. They also got a look at a prototype controller, which is not being given a name as of yet, but the journalist...
I'm gonna fucking... My gut says...
it's a DualShock
5.
What if they really surprise you and call it a 6? Like a DualShock 6?
That'd fucking show me.
Yeah.
They boom me.
Yeah. So, this journalist said that it doesn't have a name, but it looks extremely similar to a DualShock 4. Some of the new changes on this thing that they're talking about is adaptive triggers, which will offer levels of resistance or various levels of resistance on the actual triggers. So, for instance, think about like, I think the examples they gave were like pulling like a bow for a bow and arrow, like offering resistance on that compared to like firing a assault rifle or driving a car or something like that. So that could be interesting. Don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait and see.
The other one which they talked about is haptic feedback. Would be replacing the rumble system, and this seemed to get the guy that created the article. I should have got his name or her name. I didn't really check. But they said that there was a big difference in the like the games that they were playing. So they basically showed like Gran Turismo running on the PlayStation 5 dev kit using this prototype controller, and then tried it with a normal controller, and they said that the difference between the two is massive. Like being able to feel like the difference of road surfaces that you're on, like either dirt or like the pavement or the I don't know what those stripes are called with the on the side of the road. Yeah. Being able to feel that on your controller. Yeah, that's cool, as opposed to just like a rumble. And so it's going to have these two actuators. I don't actually have a controller on me, but let's pretend this is a not an Xbox controller. But yeah, where your hands sort of are sitting, two actuators will be in the lower parts of the left and right, like grips, the hand grips. And that's where you're going to get that feeling from.
Sort of just an evolved HD rumble is what I got out of it, really.
Yeah. How that affects gameplay. I don't think it's going to do much with gameplay. Maybe it will.
No, I think so.
But interesting ways of like you're walking through different surfaces. For instance, like God of War, something like sludging through the snow and things like that could be interesting ways to sort of relay that immersion to you.
Yeah.
They're talking about improved speaker, which currently is used in a couple of games, but not a lot amount.
The baby's going to talk to you in fucking the baby game, in North Korea's penis game.
Right.
Death Stranding. That's it. The baby's going to talk to you via the speaker.
Not Jeff.
Did you not see this?
Oh, is he?
No. Yeah. That's the exclusive way for the baby to talk to you via the fucking speaker in your controller. I didn't know that either. Like that was like, how is the headline not the baby fucking talks to you, not, let alone the baby talks to you via the fucking speaker? Like we've skipped a step here.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently it does. It's via the speaker.
Like in English, like does it talk like
a
human? Like what does the baby sound like?
I hope it's Gilbert Gottfried. Or it's me. It's me doing fucking lady voice. That's what I'm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. The other thing I talked about is larger battery. Longer lasting battery. Probably needs a larger battery to power a lot of this extra stuff. And he was saying that the prototype controller is actually a bit heavier as well. So that could be due to this extra crap that's in there. Good crap, but still crap. In USB-C charging as well while you're playing. So yeah. That's
my HyperX mouse USB-C charge.
Yeah.
And so is my HyperX keyboard. Everyone's shifting to USB-C.
Yep.
Now, yes. Oh, just throwing that out there.
Nice.
USB-C. Yeah.
All right. What do you think? Sounding good so far?
I'm in. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Day one. 100%. As long as it's not more than $700. Has to be under $700.
This thing is going to be expensive as fuck. You know what? You watch.
Oh yeah.
I think it's going to be.
Under 700.
I think we've already talked about this, but it's going to be their most expensive console. It's got to be.
Yeah, maybe.
SSDs, fucking next gen GPUs.
What do you reckon? So what's your guess?
Well, we're doing different pricing here, so I'll say 400,
Fuck.
and that's like
Get out of it.
triple.
Fucking guess in fucking Australian dollars. God damn it.
How much was the Sony PS3 PS4 launch price?
I don't remember.
I'm clackety clacking for people back home, so I'm
Yes,
sorry.
Exactly.
Retail in Australia for $549. That can't be right.
Mate, that's what it was. I think you're remembering the PS3 was crazy expensive. That was like 900 or some shit, right? I think.
All right, so it came out November 29th in Australia, Europe, and retailed for $549 in Australia, $399 the US, and then $349 in Europe. So I'm going with, what did you say, 700?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty close.
I said it has to be under 700.
Oh, okay, $699.
You're a fuck. What a fuck. What a fuck. Unbelievable. I cannot believe you've done this. That's dirty. All right, fine. All right, moving on. Let's go. I'm too pissed.
Yep. Next up, the Apex Legends Fight or Flight event has been confirmed, which is the holiday Halloween themed event that they're going to be doing. It's going to be Kings Canyon night mode. It's going to be completely dark. It's going to play out like a basic battle royale game, but when people die, they get turned into undead who can't use weapons. And their objective is to kill other players. And
so it's a pretty classic zombie mode.
Yep.
Yep.
Once there are 10 people or 10 teams?
Players.
10 players left.
Yep.
They need to try and get to an evac ship and work together to try and get out of there, while the undead tries to stop them. Sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
I definitely am.
It does sound. I'm very much in. I love zombie mode in competitive games. I reckon it's such a cool fucking twist. It's only limited time. Fight or Flight. That sounds familiar, eh? I don't know where I've heard that, eh? I feel like Red Bull is doing a PUBG competition with a really similar name. Red Bull. I think it's called Red Bull Fight or Flight. Oh shit! It's exactly the fucking same. Wow.
Why'd you steal that name for then?
What did we? That's good. That's juicy. That's some juice. It's a classic stitch up.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway.
So that starts next week.
Next week, real soon. Just after the first round of Red Bull's Fight or Flight this weekend.
Yep.
So, we know who the real Fight or Flight is.
Yeah.
Just FYI. But yeah.
Cool. Red Dead Redemption 2 heading to PC.
Oh yeah. November 5th. You're a fucking witch, is what it is.
Why?
You're a witch. Because you said it was coming at PC at the end of this year, fucking 2 months ago. You're a fucking witch.
I put a thing up on Twitter, which I was actually wrong about.
What?
On Twitter. Let me get it.
Wrong on Twitter. That's illegal. Isn't it?
I'll get you when I wrote it. Here we go. September 30th, which was October 1st. Looking back at these dates.
That's not 2 months.
It says, wouldn't be surprised if Red Dead Redemption 2 launched on PC this month, a year after its console release. So I was off by 5 days.
Fight or Fright. It's called Fight or Fright.
That's what I wrote.
You wrote Fight or Flight.
Same thing.
I was popping off. I was G'd up. Anyway. You were. It was still pretty prescient. You were fucking right ahead of the curve. It's weird. Anyway, I don't know. It's cool. I'm excited. I'm definitely going to play it.
I'm excited for Game of the Year again.
Game of the Year. Fucking. Well, it's going to be a lot easier because probably the best contender I thought for Game of the Year got delayed until March 2020. Doom Eternal has been delayed to March 2020. Yep, 2020. Which is gutting because I was extremely excited to play it.
Yeah.
So that's a bummer, but got announced last night. They want to make it right. And what's the old saying is you make a bad game that's forgotten immediately, and make a great game it's forgotten forever. No, that's not it. I don't fucking know.
Fallout 76. What?
Yeah.
Something about that.
Don't make Fallout 76 again. Yeah.
And it sounds like they're gunning a bunch of features out of it for later post-launch.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Wasn't invasion mode sort of being pushed back?
What? I didn't see that. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I saw the headline.
Oh, this
Invasion mode, which will allow you to enter another player game as a playable team and will be released as a free update shortly after. Like, oh my fucking god. Doom Eternal for Nintendo Switch will released after the other platforms. Doom 64 will be available on Xbox. Oh, you fuck that, Doom 64. Adding it as a pre-order bonus for Doom Eternal. All right. Well, what else? Pushing back one feature.
Yep. So yeah, not a lot left in this year. There's,
no. What else we got?
Outer Worlds, Death Stranding,
and Outer Worlds. Yeah.
Modern Warfare. Yeah.
I don't care. And Afterparty, of course.
Yeah,
I'm just looking. Outer Worlds, Modern Warfare,
Star Wars, Jedi
Red
Fallen
Dead Redemption
Order.
2 PC. Oh yeah, Jedi Fallen Order. Oh yeah.
Need for Speed Heat.
Nope. That's gonna be a no for me.
Yeah.
MechWarrior 5 is coming out in December. Apparently, allegedly. I'll believe it when it's fucking here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There ain't a lot.
Yeah. There ain't a lot. Yeah. I don't know. Oh well. Oh well. Alright. What else we got? Fortnite revenue drops 52% year on year in quarter 2 of 2019. I think everyone kind of saw this coming, right? Because it couldn't stay as crazy as it was forever.
No, not when the fucking Goose Game is out and everybody's spending money on the Goose Game.
Everyone's got to get into the Goose Game. It's the
What's
new
it called?
meme.
Overrated Goose Game? Was that what it was called?
Whoa! Look out! Fucking check out Captain Controversial over here. Yeah. I don't think it's an indicator of Fortnite, dying or anything like that. 52% drop of stupid, of everything is actually still really close to everything. Yeah, we literally, our minds cannot process the sorts of numbers that they're doing. So it is, they have dropped a significant amount, an amount that our mind can't process, but they're still making stupid amounts. So I don't think it's linked to, I don't think it's fair to link it to the mechs or anything like that. That said, sentiment about the game is definitely generally negative online. That's only amongst the people who actually, vocalize their thoughts. The reality is there are so fucking many people playing Fortnite that will never, ever, ever talk about Fortnite online. That's the power of Fortnite. That is how crazy big that game is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Anyway.
You heard it here first. Fortnite's dying.
Yeah.
Dead game.
Dead game.
Dead game. All right. Have we got any questions? I can't.
We do have some questions. We've got some questions.
All right.
Frisco writes, how strongly do you guys think this new boycott of Activision Blizzard will bring back dedicated service to Modern Warfare 2 this time around? That's some high quality cynicism, Frisco, and I appreciate it on a very deep level. Um, yeah, I think that might have been the story where we pointed out the hypocrisy on Game Arena, the hypocrisy of those people might have been our best traffic ever, because I believe we got linked fucking everywhere out of that one. That was gold. That boycott holds a very dear place in my heart.
I like seeing the pictures where it's people that are in that group, but they're still playing the game.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
they're in the Boycott Modern Warfare group, and they're playing Modern Warfare at the moment.
Yeah, that picture is that did very well for Game Arena back in the day. It was awesome. Good question, Frisco. Baz writes, with the rapid growth of esports, he wrote a capital S in esports. So I'm very tempted to not keep reading it all. But anyway, with the rapid growth in esports at a high level, do you think it will adopt a similar structure at amateur levels to traditional sports and local clubs will form? E.g., suburb-based teams, the Browns, Plains, Raptors, or the Bondi Bears. Yeah, so what we're really starting to see at the moment is collegiate esports, which is tertiary level esports. We're seeing it a significant amount overseas. It hasn't really reached anything in Australia just yet. Like we do, there are, I believe, UQ, QUT, and UNSW all have League of Legends teams in the the rung below OPL.
Yep.
I can't remember what it's called, OCS, in the Challenger Series. All three of them have got university teams in the Challenger Series, which I think is awesome. But beyond that, we don't see a lot of it. I guess we don't have the same, what would you call it? I guess reverence for collegiate sports that they do over in the States. Where it is, a multi-billion-dollar industry where none of the athletes get paid at all. Overseas, though, yeah, it's turning into a huge thing, and a lot of publishers are pushing it as a significant art to pro type experience. So I've seen Overwatch players looking specifically to go down the collegiate route, and Rocket League and stuff like that. I think that has to establish itself first before we then like the local teams, the suburb-based teams. Those are Australia's version of collegiate sports, in terms of like the level of play. And so I think we'll need to see collegiate sports establish itself before we then see Australian esports attempt to do something similar to it. But I also think that ultimately esports is about a lack of boundaries, a lack of borders. So I don't think that it's necessarily important for players to play together. I do like the idea of teaming people up based on their location. I love it as a general exercise in community building. But I don't think it's necessary. It's way too easy for me to play with, people from around Australia compared to, being
finding someone that's near you.
Yeah, someone else who's living in fucking 5 Dock or whatever.
Yeah.
As a cat. Yeah. Yeah. Fucking the Browns playing as Raptors. Good God. I don't think so. I don't think. What would they even be good at? Is there a stealing game? They can steal stuff. I'm ditching Browns planes, baby. It's where I grew up, so I'm allowed to. The Brown Stains Raptors. Got them.
The Craptors.
Any thoughts, Luke? What do you think?
Yeah, I feel like we're a ways off with that.
Yeah. I mean,
and then there's the whole regulation thing. Like, how do you do that? Unless it turns into a thing of like, it being like giant LANs, but LANs aren't really a massive thing as what they used to be because the internet's so much better these days. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think it leads to like the question it leads to is, what do you take your kids to, right? Like, do you to keep taking your kids to go play soccer on a Saturday morning when all they want to do is play fucking Fortnite? Or do you just let them play Fortnite?
They don't want to play Fortnite. Revenue's down, Joe.
Hey?
They don't want to play Fortnite anymore.
That's true.
Fortnite's
so they just
dead.
want to play...
They want to play the Goose Game.
A Goose Game. So they just want to play Goose Game. Do you organise an under-8s Goose Game league or something, right? Like, I think that is the... that might be the question that Baz is driving at. And, yeah, I don't know. Maybe, like, that would be, I think... It would be stronger to be age-based, and at the same time, that would be such fucking risky business. It'd have to be so heavily regulated. It'd have to be so heavily controlled to make sure that everyone stayed safe. Yeah, I don't know how you'd fucking do it necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good question, Baz.
Yeah, man.
Dangers writes, "Hi, gents. Do you think Blizzard will release a Jack and Daxter Hearthstone or WoW expansion to try and distract everyone from the ongoing situation?" El Kadang. I think it'd be a strong move for them. It'd be one way to get people's minds off their... how Trump has continuously made blunder after blunder after blunder, and at some point you got to step back and be all like, how the fuck does this dude keep screwing up, right? And then someone's like, he keeps screwing up because every time he screws up, it distracts people from the previous screw up, right? Like, nobody's talking about screw up 1. They've all moved on to screw up 2. Releasing anything Jack and Daxter related would be a screw up good enough to distract everyone from screw up number 1. I think that's a really good point, Dangs. Everyone hates Jack and Daxter. They're just universally hated, and it would be a really good distraction. Luke, any thoughts?
I think it's... I mean, there's a chance maybe they start teasing whatever's going at BlizzCon,
right? Yeah, like, it might be something, although do they really want to uncork the bottle of getting people thinking about BlizzCon when everyone's trying to work out if they can get refunds for BlizzCon or whatever the fuck it is? Yeah. I've seen a lot of people being like, oh, boycott Blizzard, right? Boycott Activision for Modern Warfare 2 servers.
It's in about 3.5 weeks. I'm actually going. I've got
what a trader.
Got some stuff lined up. Look, I already booked everything. So yeah, that should be interesting. Hopefully they've got some big things to announce down there. But
have they announced the musical guest yet?
No, I don't think so. Who would you think it's going to be? Didn't last year, wasn't it like 3 different people? They didn't go like the whole...
I don't know.
Like...
I don't know.
Blink 182.
Yeah, just one. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, I can't really remember sort of what was going on. So, last year was Train. Lindsay Sterling, who's...
Yikes!
Is she the violinist? And...
Train? Like Drops of Jupiter?
Yeah.
I can't believe we haven't boycotted Blizzard already.
They went from Muse in 2017 to Train.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
And Hodor, the guy from Game of Thrones. I don't know what he was doing. I didn't go, so I'm not sure.
Holding a door, I guess.
Yeah. Ticket prices went up by quite a bit this year, it looks like. So maybe they're bringing in like Queen. Maybe the resurrecting Queen, original Queen, are coming back.
Sure. What's the biggest band in China right now?
Oh, I don't know.
Just go for them, I reckon. Lean in.
Just
lean into it. Just fucking, yeah. Yeah.
Look at this. 2014. Let's. Oh my gosh. Let's go even higher. There's some really good shit here. 2011 was Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
2013 was Blink 182. 2014 was Metallica. 2015 was Linkin Park.
Yep.
Then 2016, they were like Weird Al Yankovic because why
That'd
not?
be awesome. That'd be
Yeah.
fucking sick.
And then 2017 was Muse, and then
Yep.
Train.
Then Train.
Imagine that. Like, someone fucked
Yeah.
up. Someone,
Oh my lord.
it's like the person organizing it was related to somebody in the band and was like, you know who's really good? Train.
Yep. Train. Or they had bonus incentives tied to how much money they could save on whoever the fuck they booked. And so they got the dude from fucking Game of Thrones, a violinist, and Train. Who I assume Train are doing children's parties. Like, as punishment. Like, the parents book them as a punishment for the children. They're like, if you don't fucking eat your greens, I'm going to book fucking Train for your birthday party. And the kid's like fucking eating broccoli. Like, no, Mum, don't. Please, no.
Yeah, not again.
How many times? Yeah.
I mean, there's a
Anyway.
possibility they keep going down that track and just like, well, let's go. Fuck it. You're going to book
yeah.
us. We're going to book Nickelback.
Nickelback. No,
I feel like Nickelback's
Nickelback.
better than Train.
Trump tweeted a like, look at this photograph meme, and
Yeah.
Nickelback copyright struck him. So Nickelback, they're on the
Cool
up.
books,
Like, yeah. No, you'd have to go to someone way worse, like fucking Keith Urban or something. Not Carl Urban, Keith Urban.
Keith Urban.
No?
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't think that's
Like,
the
just-
crowd.
That's what I'm saying, right? They don't care about the crowd. They're like fuck it, you know. Everyone's going to complain anyway.
Yeah.
They all complained about Train for some reason. I thought everyone loved Train, but no, they complained about it. So let's just fucking go Keith Urban and see what they complain about now. Garth Brooks, like go Garth Brooks, fucking achy breaky heart and shit. Is that Garth Brooks?
Garth
Or is
Brooks? No.
No, who did that? That's Billy
Ray
Cyrus.
Cyrus.
Billy Ray Cyrus. I was close. Garth Brooks is also the worst. Anyway, Dangers also writes, also for Baz's question, I think we may see it in some form in the future, but having so many different popular games might spread everything too thin in Australia. I can definitely see it more in the USA, China, etc. Dangers also writes, P.S. I think the Jamestown Jacks and the Dandenong Daxters would be great ideas. Thoughts? He chucked the question mark on the end, so it's a question. I don't know where Jamestown is. Jamison Town. I don't know where that is either. I don't know where Jamestown is. I don't know where Jamison Town is. I don't know where either of these places are. Luke, you're from here. Where's Jamison Town?
In Sydney?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never heard of it.
Is it in... Where's Dandenong?
I feel like these are all like made up, like Queensland.
Do you reckon Dandenong's in Queensland? I reckon it's in Victoria. I'm guessing Victoria. Google it. Look it up. Dandenong? What do you got?
Victoria.
Victoria. All right, where's Jamison Town? Jamisontown. Here's with the truth.
Ah,
Victoria?
it's in New South Wales.
Oh, where? Fuck your soul.
Jamiston.
No, not Jamiston. Jamison Town. That's what it says.
Yeah, that's it's out towards Penrith. It's Jamiston.
Is it pronounced Jamison Town? Jamison Town. Jamiston.
Listen, it's not town. Jamiston.
It says town on the fucking end.
Yeah, but they got no teeth over there, and so they just fucking cut the end off, and so it's just Jamiston.
Radio. Well, fucking,
Not
I don't see other
Jamistown.
ones on me. Jamison Town. That's how it's fucking spelled. What am I supposed to, like, I got Dandenong, right?
Oh, maybe
Like-
it is Jamison Town. I don't know. There's a Jamiston over there somewhere, I think.
Is there a Jamiston? Let's have a look for Jamiston. Jamiston. I looked up Jamiston and it took me to Jamison Town. Whoa! Alrighty then.
I feel like that's maybe just what they call it. I know there is one over that way.
Just fucking. Isn't there? There's somewhere like that in the fucking like they do all the time in England, don't they? They're like fucking Leicester, Leicester. Yeah, and they're like, oh, that's Leicester. And you're like, what the fuck do you mean it's Leicester? Like, what happened to the 7 fucking vowels in there? Like, you just fucking skip them? You can't just skip vowels. Apparently, you can.
Yeah.
You just do whatever the fuck you want. Right.
All right, let's wrap this up. We're nearly 3.5 hours. Fucking hell.
All right.
Thanks for the emails or the Discord messages.
Questions. Great questions.
Yeah, good stuff. You can find us on iTunes, Android, Windows Store, Spotify, YouTube, all those wonderful places under the Gap or the GA podcast. If you do have some time, please rate and review the show. Helps other people find it. If you listen on iTunes, please, or whatever you're doing, the Mac thing. So I was looking in there the other day. We haven't had some reviews in a while, so that'd help us get up in the numbers. We're not in the top 10 yet on video games. I want to get the top 10, Joab. I think this is the way. I think this is the way through reviews. That'll help us.
Through reviews. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get it.
You can also find us on social media, facebook.com/GA podcast, twitter.com/GA podcast. We have a Discord page, thegapodcast.com/Discord. That'll take you to our wonderful community of people that are playing video games and leaving us awesome messages and talking about China. We're not in China anymore. They've taken us off the network, but that's okay. You can also find us on YouTube, thegapodcast.com/YouTube. I'll put up some recorded footage that I've got for this week of Afterparty. And because I turned on the subtitles because it's a fucking talking game. And all we do is talk, so you wouldn't be able to hear the game. So I'll put subtitles on. Yeah, check that out.
Yep.
And you can also go to our website, thegapodcast.com. It's got links to all of the things we just talked about, including past episodes of the show. And that is all run thanks to our Patreon subscribers. If you want to help support the show, you can go to patreon.com/GApodcast. Thank you to everyone that does that every month.
You're the best.
Hopefully you'll get this episode a little bit earlier this week. Yes, because it's Wednesday. So hopefully tonight. Easy. Nice and early.
Nice.
I think that is it. Have you got anything you'd like to spruik out for this week?
If you're heading to PAX Australia, come see me on a bunch of fucking panels. I'm on 5 panels now.
No.
I'm on Friday, I'm on the WrestleMania 2K20 Giving Wrestlers the Power Rating Deserve panel, where we give wrestlers the power rating they deserve. That's all I've been told about that one. I've got no idea what I'm in for. Should be a fucking spectacular train wreck. I'm excited. That's in the GameSpot Theatre. At 9:30 p.m. in the Wombat Theatre. I'm in the G-Files, where we investigate the greatest mysteries in video game history. I don't really understand what's going on in that one either, but I have got one hell of a mystery prepared for everyone, and I haven't told anyone else on the panel about.
Well, I don't understand the concept of what it is.
I don't either. I don't know how to explain it to you because I don't understand it either. So that should be good, you know.
Like mysteries in terms of weird things that have happened, or like where did we go that night when we took Suda 51 somewhere for drink, like that sort of mystery.
With weird things that happen, I guess.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
For an hour, and nobody's going to get to talk about anything because it's just a joke.
No. It's not that like because based on everyone else on this on this panel.
Yeah.
Who I largely don't know. I assume it's not going to be that.
Oh. So it's not you deciphering how you got chicken in your bed on a Borderlands trip. That's not it?
It's not it. And you stayed at the same hotel and you were no hope at all. I can't believe it. I can't believe you didn't investigate further. Although you did find that sign that said no food trucks. Vendors. So that has skewered the only fucking lead we had.
And also Popeyes closed at 12 o'clock, so it wasn't that place.
So it wasn't Popeyes. Even better. Great. So there's that one. That's Friday. Those are both on Friday. So that second one is 9:30 in the Wombat Theatre. Then on Saturday at 12:30 p.m., which is so happy that it's after 12, but only just barely. So it's going to be fucking hairy anyway. I am on the Are We the Baddies panel, which I will just read out the fucking description. Everyone loves a hero. They're good, they're brave, and they always triumph over evil. But do we only believe this because history is written by the victors? What if the good guys were actually the bad guys? Their time is over. We see through their do-gooder facade. It's time to find the worst good guy. Basically, it's going to be a big old argument about who is the most evil good guy. And I am going to pitch. I don't know if I may or may not get to pitch this one because of who's on this panel. But if I don't get to pitch it, I'm going to pitch it on the fucking podcast next week. I'm going to pitch the Doom guy. Doomslayer as the ultimate evil.
Have you got Bethesda people on this panel?
Maybe. So we'll see how that goes. See how they feel about me pitching that. Then directly after that, so that's 12:30 in the GameSpot Theatre. In the same theatre, Dolphin Tub. Pitch us your excellent, terrible game ideas. Think you have a great idea for a video game? Come pitch it to a panel of professional critics, developers, and marketing people to see whether you need to drop everything you're doing in your life immediately to run off with the video game circus. That's at 2 p.m. in the GameSpot Theatre. I don't think they're ready for what I'm bringing to this panel.
I reckon
it should be pretty good.
You open it up and full fucking serious and then just hijack this panel.
Hijack it?
Yep, because it's a game about a goose.
Oh, yeah? A game
You're
about a goose.
You're a goose, and then just fucking destroy everybody.
It's gold. That's it. That's a good plan. I've got a good dolphin game idea that I'm going to pitch. I don't think we're supposed to pitch. I think we're supposed to receive pitches. When I get it, I'm planning on getting everyone in the pitching mood with a pitch of my own about a dolphin game because it's the Dolphin Tub. See, instead of Shark Tank, I think is the idea to play on the Shark Tank thing. I want to be the what's his face, Mark Cuban of this panel, but I'll probably just wind up being more Simon Cowell. Because we're both cunts. And then at 3:30 p.m. in the exact same theatre, the GameSpot Theatre.
That's where you live now.
It's my new home. Is Faking It Part 2, the reviewing. Your favourite panel from PAX Australia 2017 is back with a twist. Professional game reviewers attempt to trash universally beloved games.
The Goose Game. This is like you can just sit in the GameSpot panel the entire day and just shit on the Goose Game.
Well, we do have the Goose as one of the bad guys in our Are We the Baddies panel, so it's a good start. We can definitely go Goose Fever.
Yeah.
One of the panelists actually hates the game. Can you pick which panelist is a godforsaken heathen? 10 out of 10 games. 10 out of 10 hilarity. I won't tell you what game I am doing because first of all, I'm the flex. I'm the flex on this panel. It's me, Jess McDonald from GameSpot, Daniel Van Boom from CNET, Nick Healy is hosting again, and Rad from Rad Yeo from Good Game Spawn Point. I'm the flex on this panel. I have so many beloved games that I hate that I can genuinely pick whatever the fuck I want. So I will wait and see what everyone else is picking, and then I will pick something different. Because obviously I don't want to, we can't all hate the same thing, the same popular thing. No. And being the contrarian that I am, it's very... so yeah, and obviously the other part of it is that you're supposed to guess what game it is everyone hates. But I do get to write my own intro again. I wrote my own intro last time, and I've got Nick Healy saying that I'm the best games reviewer in the world on a panel as my Twitter pinned tweet. So I'm gonna come up with something pretty juicy for the next one. I'm thinking the reigning, defending, undisputed Australian esports journalist of the year. Because until they fucking run another fucking esports journalist of the year in Australia, I am the reigning, defending, undefeated champion. So bring it on, bitches. Yeah, that should be good. And yeah. That is it. After that, I believe on Sunday I will be playing board games. That's my big plan. Is to play board games all day.
Nice.
And yes. Otherwise, going to head to the Star. That's the Sydney one. The fucking casino. Watching rugby. Definitely keen to catch some rugby.
There's no basketball one.
There's no basketball one. Especially not from China. Yeah, but yeah, no, that's my big weekend. So yeah, come to the panels if you want. I believe all the GameSpot ones are being streamed, so you just fucking watch them on stream. Who needs to go live? And then yeah, come to the panels, say hello, or don't. I don't care. You don't have to. There's no need.
Are you going to go to one of those Cyberpunk panels?
Cyberpunk panel? What fucking Cyberpunk panels?
The Cyberpunk devs are there.
Oh, on Sunday. Fucking.
Well, no, they
at the GameSpot theater. That's in my house. Well, of course I will. I'll probably be trying to have a sleep. Yeah.
Turn down that noise.
Hey, you kids. Yeah. No, that should be good.
Yeah, I think they'll just be showing off
definitely.
The stuff they showed at Gamescom, probably.
Well, I'm there anyway.
Yeah.
Just to go tell them to give me a fucking copy of the game.
So when do you get down there?
Friday morning. Not going Thursday. I should have gone Thursday. They're having a big Doom party.
Oh, they sure are.
Yeah, to celebrate its release next year, I guess. But yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, they kind of fucked that up. I bet you they got told about this after all this stuff had been organised. And they're like, well, all right.
Yeah.
Otherwise, 100%. It would have been like an Elder Scrolls party or some shit. All right, cool. Well, that's a lot of interesting stuff. For me, you can go to Stevivor.com and check out a bunch of my articles went up today for Afterparty. I did a preview, a very light preview, which I avoided a lot of like story stuff as well. Yeah, because yeah. Anyway, I did an interview with the guys, so that is up there as well. And I think I got it was an Australian exclusive, but also I got him to talk about basically like what is next for them as well, which I don't think is out there yet. And he confirmed that basically they see this game and Oxenfree as being part of a trilogy, and their next game will be something similar, but another genre shift again. So I don't think that information is out there yet. So hopefully someone picks it up at a big international outlet and gets me some hits. But otherwise, nice. Yeah, you can go check out Survivor for that stuff. And yeah, obviously, if you missed the Apex Legends stuff last week, it's on Red Bull.
It is. Yes, go check it out.
Yeah.
And also on Red Bull, I interviewed Destiny, Mitchell Shaw from Mammoth, the League of Legends team that went to Worlds and got knocked out. They took that fucking loss so fucking hard. It is rough. So rough. To see how they like their fucking beast of a carry, Kingy, like posting on Twitter, I'm so sorry that I've wasted everyone's time. There's only one, like I've been to international events 5 out of the last 6 times in the last 3 years. There's one common denominator between our failed attempts, and it is me. Like some fucking, that dude needs to see a sports psychologist post haste. Like they absolutely need to get that dude help. Yeah, he's got it. Like he played like a fucking gun, and yeah, he should not be trying to he should not be thinking any of it is his fault at all. It's nobody's fault. Like they played against a team that plays in the Europe League. They played against a team that plays in the North American League. Sorry, not the Europe League, the fucking CIS League. Like, but they're playing against teams that are playing for actual prize pools beyond just getting to Worlds itself. Play like teams with established full-time ability. Like, yeah, it's rough.
Yeah.
And they get teams get 2 opportunities a year from OCE to play against international teams, and that's it. Yeah, Ryan needs to provide more opportunities for international experience, because otherwise you only get smarter by playing a smarter opponent. Anyway, yeah, check that out.
Nice. Cool. Yep. Just to drag this on a little bit longer, while we've been speaking, there was some news that dropped. Death Stranding review embargo lifts on November 1st, which is a full week before the game's release.
Wow.
Yep.
I did say someone pitched that Doom Eternal was delaying so that it could dodge Death Stranding, which is pretty funny.
When was Doom? 20th? Oh wait, when was Doom? I'm not sure. Anyway, it seems like Sony's pretty confident. Sony's usually pretty good with release code. I wouldn't be surprised if 1st of November, so that's 3 weeks and a bit away. So probably start seeing that quite soon. They've been pretty generous with their big games.
Yeah, they hit me up for to update my my PSN details.
Yeah,
and I told them that that I would only be able to deliver my PSN details via a tiny baby in a jar.
And
so I don't know if that's going to work for me or against me, but hopefully it gets me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's the show.
It. Cool.
Big show.
Big show.
We probably could have went for another hour, but
probably. Yeah,
we've got things to do around here, so
I have so much fucking shit to do.
Let's just keep going then.
All right, let's go.
All right, see you next week.
All right, bye.